Forever. Dog.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the best show, hosted by me, Tom Scharpling, and my new co-host, Nancy. How's it going, Nancy? You having fun? Fun, you're crying, though. Wait, the show's not that bad. Look, the show's not very good, but it's not worth crying over. All right, thank you, Nancy, for coming by. You can open the door and let her free. She can escape. So yes, tonight on the best show, we have a jam-packed program. Peyton Reed, the director of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, back in studio. We remember how it went last time, don't we? When you saw my little heartbreak on camera. And we are going to talk to him about that and other things. Then, MARC MARON in studio. He has a new special out. Comes out HBO. It is great. And it is called From... Oh boy, this is bad. Oh boy. Oh, how can I be this bad at this? Oh, how bad can I be? Look, he's got a new HBO special coming out. We're going to talk all about it. We'll talk to it. It's called From Bleak to Dark. And it is amazing. Comes out this week. We're going to talk about that. All sorts of other things. So, full house on the best show today. And you got me, Tom Scharpling. You're the host with the most, as people say. I'm here holding all that together. You listen to these other podcasts, they get Peyton Reed, they get MARC MARON. They don't know what to do with that. You watch what I do with this. You watch. You buckle up, baby. Because it's best show time. Play the theme.
Best show. Best show. Best show. Keep on laughing with the radio on Tuesday night. On Tuesday night, when all the other days have got you down, you'll feel alright. You'll feel alright. Over on the best show. Over on the best show. Best show. Best show. Best show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the best show here on a Tuesday night in February of 2023. How are you tonight? I'm doing good. I hope you're doing great. No, I'm doing great. I hope you're doing as great as I'm doing, because this is a fun night. It's a fun show. We got a whole lot planned. Great time ahead for us all. It's best show. The phone number 201-989-0012 if you want to get in on the action and give a little phone call tonight. We're not going to be doing too much of the phones tonight, but we'll be doing some phone stuff. And we got Peyton Reed, director of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, coming in. He'll be in studio. Also in studio, MARC MARON, the comedian, podcaster, friend. Peyton Reed's a friend too. I don't want to make like he's not a friend. He's a great friend. He's a great friend, and hopefully we can get to the bottom of a whole lot of business tonight. If that, we'll get to the bottom of some business with old Peyton Reed checking in. And yeah, couple pieces of business to take care of. Yeah, let me tell you a couple pieces of business. Let's lay out. It's like the rules of the best show. We do it so everybody knows, and I don't want to get. Look, truth be told, I don't want Brett hitting me. Brett Boehm. He said he'd punch me if I didn't read this. The best way to support the best show is to sign up for our Patreon over at patreon.com/thebestshow. We've got a lot of great bonus content over there. So far, Rubenesque, Ask Tom, there's new things coming. We're working on them now. I had a big meeting last week about some new Patreon-only content that is right around the corner. Look out, Jack. So that's patreon.com/thebestshow. And that's also where you can get the ad-free weekly version of the best show at the Patreon. And you can also get that at foreverdog.plus. That's the Forever Dog Plus membership. And make sure you subscribe to the best show on all your podcast apps. Rate and review it. Give us great reviews, please. And we're at YouTube, youtube.com/bestshow4 Best Show for Life. Same place you get the TikToks, the Twitters, and the Instagrams. Best Show for Life. I hope. Brett, is that good enough? Am I going to be spared the rod tonight? No answer. Keep the threat going. Keeps the threat going. Wants me scared. He's the single. I do double threat. He's the single threat. Yikes. So anyway, the best show. Here we are. Full show tonight. A lot of fun. Couple things I want to talk about at the outset. We did the 50 most boring people list last week. I heard on Bennington on satellite radio, they read the list. They reviewed our list. Did you hear? For Mike, AP Mike, are you here?
I'm here, Tom.
Look, I'm here. Look at that. This guy's here. I'm here. You bled through before. I can't talk now. People giving you a hard time. No, Mike, that's not you.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can talk now. Now you talk.
Okay.
Now you talk. Yeah, they reviewed the whole top 50 list up and down every which way. Maybe one of the funniest things I've ever heard is when they go, number 49, Greg Wilson. And they're like, who's that? It's like, and clearly they are not as familiar with Egg Foo What over at Sirius XM as everybody on Forever Dog is. So you please pass that along to your partner, Greg,
Okay.
that he was mentioned, and they were confused. They thought he
We'll
was
be
the
thrilled.
volleyball from Castaway. And they also mentioned Jason Gore. Jason Gore, are you here, Dudio? You don't have to come in. If you're sitting, just know you were mentioned on satellite radio. Bennington, they were saying they wondered why you were so boring, and they said, he doesn't seem that boring. So you can just know they said you were boring.
They said that I didn't seem boring?
They said they wanted their producer on instead of you.
Really?
Yeah, so it's fine.
Did they know I was number 44?
Oh, they read the whole list.
They read the whole list.
They went up, down,
Up,
sideways, everything. They said
around.
this guy's boring. They said we'll take their word for it, but we don't find him. They wish that their producer Earl was on the list. Earl Douglas.
Oh,
But,
I will say that the Hawk numbers dipped this week, and I just assume it's because everybody was searching for 109.8.
Probably. No, probably is. The
So,
Hork.
The Hork.
109.8 The Hork. Check it out, everybody. Yeah, so, but you were immortal. We'll pull a whole thing on that, and we'll do I want a rapid fire 1, 2, of Gail Bennington reading the list. We'll have our fun with that, but
we'll
that's not this week.
We'll pull it for soon.
Yes, of course. Pat, are you there, Pat?
Hey-o.
How, look at that. Hey, yo, he's fired up. Great to hear you, Pat. You excited about tonight's show?
I can't wait. I can't wait.
This guy can't wait.
Two of my heroes.
This guy can't wait. 2 of his heroes.
One program.
1 program, 2 heroes. Unbelievable. Can you believe the value goes on here? I do want to make a couple amendments to the boring list, if I could. Let me find my amendments. I wanted to just do a couple short adjustments, if that's all right. So please, Pat, if you could log these, and we will.
Yeah, I got it.
I would like to swap out. Let me look at the list real quick. Let me look at this boring list. Hold on. There it is. I would like to swap out. Man, there was somebody I want to swap out on this. Because I want to swap in Bill Simmons. I almost want to swap Ryan Reynolds off for Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons should be in that 5 slot. Bill Simmons, number 5, please. And can I see the second half? Is that possible? See the second half? Of course. I'm not rushing. This is amazing. And yeah. And because it was a great list. It's a great list. I would swap out. We got a lot of people were not happy with, of all people on the list, Julie Bowen. I don't know. Pretty boring. But I look at this list and I says, let's take Kelsey Grammer off the list and put in Meghan McCain, number 36. And those are the 2 adjustments I wanted to make to the list. And then that will stand as the best version of the list for the time being. We'll go forward from there. Also, want to let everybody know that big concept for the episode on February 21st. This is what we're going to do. Best show's in Los Angeles now, right? Best show's in LA. I says to myself, how can we take advantage of that the best show is in Los Angeles, the city of angels, as Anthony Kiedis called it. He coined that. The city of angels, right? Remember that? Great song. Under the bridge. He's like, hey, man, I'm not telling anybody which bridge it was. Oh, no, please. Please tell us the bridge. We're in Los Angeles. How can the best show take advantage of that? Simple. On the episode February 21st, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time, the clock begins at 6 p.m. You have 3 hours to physically bring a celebrity to the studio. And you bring a celebrity to the studio, you will be rewarded. And I'm saying, when I say celebrity, I'm talking if you got somebody who was just like, yeah, this person did a walk-on on a thing, that's fine. Or you walk in with Jake Gyllenhaal. Every size of celebrity is welcome. If you, the Best Show listener, bring a celebrity down, they come on mic for 5 minutes, chit chat, hey, tell me about your thing, whatever. You, the Best Show listener, 2 things. You will get to pick a prize from the Best Show prize shelf, which will be displayed. It'll be as if like classic Price is Right, not Price is Right, classic old Wheel of Fortune where you picked prizes off of, or like you're on the boardwalk. You win the thing, you shot the water balloon and the balloon blew up off the clown's head. You get to pick a prize. You'll get to pick a prize. That is the show we will do on February 21st. So I says to you right now, get ready Get ready for that. Line your celebrity up. If you got a celebrity, tell them, celebrity, tell them, hey, Bruce Dern, I need you to be available. We're going to the best show on February 21st. And this is what you're saying, like, but how do I get there? I don't know where to go. Next week, we will reveal the specifics on how you reach out. But this week right now is the week for you. If you know a celebrity, it's for you to tell them you're coming down. I might even do different size shelves. Like this is a shelf for walk-on people, small people. This is a shelf for character actors, mid-tier people. This is a shelf. You walk in here with Tom Cruise, you get 2 things off the top shelf. 2. So get your wheels moving. Maybe nobody will show up. What if that happens? Zilch, 0. Nobody walks through the door with a celebrity. But I got a feeling we're going to get some celebrities coming through. These listeners, they know people. Look, personally, I want to meet Lana Del Rey. I want Lana Del Rey to come on the best show. That's my goal for 2023. I'm not expecting to have Lana Del Rey walk through that door. That's a larger goal. Anybody have an in on Lana Del Rey, you let me know. I want Lana Del Rey to be a guest on the best show. 2023 goal. But February 21st, you get celebs in studio. You win. Big prize. Details to follow next week, but now's the time for you to start talking to your celebrity friends and lining it up. What do you think about that idea, Mike? And when I say Mike, this is AP Mike. He's that's all right. No, no, you're good.
I was doing some research.
You're doing some research. Okay.
Yeah. Caught me mid-research.
Okay. Are you done researching?
Not yet.
Okay. We'll keep researching. But that's what we're going to do on February 25th. Do you think we'll get somebody to come in?
Yeah, I think so.
I do too. I have a good feeling about it. Good feeling.
I think my son will come through.
Mike now refers to Brett Davis as his son, which sounds like a little bit of a psychic break is happening here, honestly.
He's a good lad.
It sounds like it really does sound like there's some sort of detachment from reality now. Like you're heading into, this is like, we're going into Baby Jane territory now.
He came through with that last guest, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, he really did. He ended the year on a bang. Yes, I'm currently in hiding from no, that's fun. No, it was amazing. That was an amazing display. Look, maybe Brett will pull some guests and he'll go to the prize shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Could be. Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. And also, if you bring somebody from Stranger Things, that's celebrities. If you bring 11 by, for example, from Stranger Things. Or Galen Matarazzo. Is that the kid's name? Like, I was watching this, like, prank show that he hosted. And there was a moment where, like, anybody meets him, they're like, oh, my God, it's Galen Matarazzo. What? The kid from Stranger Things. Everybody knows his name? That sounded a little fishy. Everybody knew his name. Peyton Reed on the way. MARC MARON on the way. Good show tonight, but let's see what is going on. We got busy phones. Busy show tonight. Hot show on Best Show. Let's take a call here. Hello, Best Show.
Hold for the congressman.
Hold for the, okay, congressman.
Hello, Tom.
Yes.
Tom, this is New Jersey Congressman Sean Y. Congressman.
Sean, so this is the actual Sean Y. Congressman?
That's right, yes.
Okay. Welcome to the best show, Congressman Sean Y. Congressman.
Thank you.
It's exciting having you here.
Well, obviously I've been in the news today, and
You sure have.
yeah, probably every news outlet in the area, and
Mm-hmm.
I just that's why I'm calling, son.
That's why you're calling, because look, you have been all over the Quint City news outlets. It's crazy, the explosion of. It sounds like, because there's so many politicians, so many news stories going on. It just feels like it's your turn in the hot seat, and talk about that is a hot seat.
Yeah. So if I could just obviously this flagrantly unlawfully recorded hot mic conversation between myself and Hunk Dawson of the Shout Sports Network.
Mhm.
It sounds very bad, and but I'm calling because I want to set the record straight to as many of my constituents who could possibly listen. And I made a similar call just a few minutes ago to WNJL, the #1 liberal leaning station in the Quint Cities, and all of our research reveals that your program is by far the most listened to source for far right viewpoints, commentary, and conspiracy discourse. So I appreciate you taking the call.
Well, that's news to me. That's not what we're about here. It's not far right talk or conspiracy theory talk. But
well, it says right here in the research book, you have 5 red baseball caps, and the next closest one has is only 2.5.
Well, Congressman, I don't know what to say about whatever chart you're looking at. I can only tell you this is not a far right program, but I do feel like it's important for you to just straight up explain yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
Because this is bad. This is bad.
Yeah, I know. In a nutshell, the conversation took place after a triple overtime Newbridge Ice Maniacs hockey game against the Northridge Puckmen.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I washed down my Wharf Monster fish burger with several tasty beverages from the fine folks at Skank Dog Brewery. And
Mm-hmm.
you know who I'm doing, right?
Do I know who you're doing?
Yeah. Just then.
I wasn't clear on that. No.
I said some tasty beverages.
Who is that again?
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction. He says the second best line in the history of film after Brian Doyle Murray's "We like to send out a mailer."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tasty, but so who said the line?
Samuel L. Jackson. You've never heard of him?
Well, actually no, I have never heard of I've never heard of Samuel L. Jackson. I've heard of.
Have you been to any movies?
Oh, I see plenty of movies. I have heard of Samuel L. Jackson.
That's what I said. Wait, what is it?
L.
Like the letter L?
Yeah, like the letter L.
Oh, I thought it was Samuel Owl Jackson, like the bird.
Like well, I understand. I knew that. I knew when you said owl, you thought it was the bird, but it's
I'm really stepping in it, Tom.
Congressman. It's like your name. You have a Y in your name.
Well, I have one of those names that unfortunately sounds like a question.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, why Congressman?
Which I think is a pretty valid. I think a lot of people are saying that today.
Oh my God,
Sean, comma, why Congressman? Question mark.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll bet George Santos is thanking his lucky stars that I made the front page news today.
Yeah, people are focusing on it's your turn. Your turn in the crosshairs.
Yeah. Well, anyways, you didn't guess the line. The line is, "You, flock of seagulls, know why I'm here." It's a good line.
It's a pretty good line, yeah.
Isn't it interesting that when all's said and done, Mike's score will be more known for that movie line than the incredible music that he and his brother Allie, Paul Reynolds, and Frank Maudsley brought to humanity?
It feels like you're dodging the matter at hand.
Okay, well, that's why I'm calling.
And I am impressed that you knew Frank Maudsley. I mean, look, everybody knows the Score brothers generally. If you know anything about music, you know John, Paul, George, Ringo, Mike, Allie, Mick and Keith, Mike and Allie. And some people know Frank Reynolds, but Maudsley is the Paul Reynolds. Frank Maudsley is the one that people come up short on.
Oh, well, he really laid it down. He was like a less showy Mark King from Level 42.
Because Mark King he went off on that slap bass.
Yeah. When kids today hear him play, they say that slaps.
That slaps. That is what that doesn't surprise me, because he played that bass. That was like that era of kind of like 80s new wave alternative music where these things were a little funky coming out of England.
Oh, yeah.
But then there was this one guy, he might as well have been in Weather Report the way he was playing.
Oh, yeah. He was laying it down like Jocko.
He was like Jocko.
Yeah. But with a cooler haircut.
Yes. An even cooler haircut than Jocko had.
Yeah. Well, listen, Tim, that's why I'm calling.
Tom.
I feel like I'm sorry.
Tom.
Oh, Tom. I have so much to offer the people of Newbridge, and I don't want to be remembered for this one very explainable incident.
Okay. But so just then set the record straight.
Well, first, let me say, speaking of things I want to get done, I'm immediately going to initiate an investigation into this flagrant Hollywood conspiracy to keep you from appearing on the silver screen.
That's very flattering that you would focus on that I got cut out of movies and Ant-Man movies. But
and I heard you had hooping belts for the last one, and you couldn't make it to the set. Is that correct?
I had coronavirus.
Oh, okay. That's
but then missed another opportunity to be, because an entire sequence was cut from production.
Oh, crud. Oh, my God. Well, I just want to say it's the most shameful thing to happen in that town since the Academy passed over Kevin Costner for his portrayal of the titular character in the 2007 thriller, Mr. Brooks.
That was one of those Oscar snubs that people still talk about.
They still talk about it out there. Yeah, it's very shameful. But Tom, to the topic at hand, yes, I said a plethora of very unacceptable things in that private conversation with Hunk, none of which I actually meant. And in fact, I meant the exact opposite of what I said.
Well, more details would be appreciated.
Well, I'm actually going to bring suit against Skank Dog Brewery for adding, I don't know, some sort of truth-reversing secret ingredient to their beer that causes consumers to do just that.
So you're saying that they put some sort of lying serum in their beer?
Yes. basically, as an
Uh-huh.
example, when I said, I think the quote is something like, those Gomers back in Newbridge barely know how to hold a fork. There's no way they can grasp how important fracking is to the survival of our society. I meant just the opposite.
No, of course you meant the opposite.
I don't even know what fracking is, and I can't tell you, Tom, how many times I've seen diners at Gray Pizza hold their cutlery correctly, and I have to say it's very impressive, and it definitely shows you that there's a reason they call Newbridge the Paris of the Jersey swampland.
Congressman, this is messy.
Well, another example, when I said Governor Murphy's idea of a good time is seeing how many saltwater taffies he can stuff in that dumb face of his,
Yeah.
I meant the exact opposite. I heard he doesn't think stuffing his dumb face full of taffy is fun at all. You're sensing a pattern here, right? It's like everything I said is the opposite.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know why you would expect anybody to believe that, though.
Oh, but there's another one I think that will totally prove my point. When I said that Officer Harrops couldn't apprehend Jesus as he made his way through the streets of Galilee, I meant the exact opposite, that cross was said to be extremely heavy and quite unwieldy.
So, but you're still attributing this to somebody slipping something into the beer.
Absolutely, yeah. And there were less than 35 more things that people took issue with, but
like
those were the main ones.
Sure. Well, okay. Well,
there were 34 of them. Not
sure.
so that's less than 35.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 30.
It's kind of like having a record in the top 11 in Delaware.
Like if somebody says, "Hey, how'd your record do?" It's like, really good. We went top 11. That means their record they said, like, yeah, we got into the top 11.
Yeah. I mean, it's believable.
It's
right?
believable, but you know how far they went in the top. Nobody's like, oh, we got into the top 11. Where, how far did you go? Number 4. You would.
You don't think I was telling the truth? It's fine.
I don't.
Why?
Because you're so on the nose with these things are so elaborate.
Tom, you're being very unfair to me, and I have to ask the question in the room: is this because you read that BS in the Quint Cities Gabber about me wearing extensions?
Look, people talk, people read things. I'm just judging you based on the merits of this thing and the things you said. Whatever the deal with you and your extensions is, well, why don't you tell us about that then?
No, but I if it's not that, is it because of that utter nonsense and metal mayhem about me supposedly doing fat rails with Eddie Trunk, Don Jameson, and Jim Florentine at Rachel Boland's birthday party last week?
So you were at the birthday party for the Skid Row bassist from Skid Row?
Oh yeah, everybody was there.
Yeah.
So it's not that. It's not that. Is it regarding those totally erroneous charges that JerseyJuice.net made about me bullying my staffers so unmerciful that they call me Congressman Brooks? Which is, of course, a harmful reference to the aforementioned Kevin Costner thriller.
Mr. Brooks.
Yes.
Frozen out at those Oscars also.
Yeah.
Zero nominations, 0 wins.
Nothing. Well, it seems like I'm not making any headway with you.
No, this stuff is so extreme, and there's just it's problem upon problem upon problem.
All right. Well, I've said my piece. I do have one question for you though.
What's that?
Did I read in Variety that the director of The Computer wore tennis shoes is going to be on your show tonight?
That's correct.
Oh my God.
The remake.
What has he done since?
He's done a few things since.
Like what?
Bring It On, the cheerleading movie, Bring It On.
Oh, I like that film. I like that.
Oh, you like it? Okay.
I did like that. Yeah.
Down with Love.
Oh, that was fun.
Yes Man.
Didn't see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The Breakup was another one of those movies.
Didn't see it.
Ant-Man.
Amped Man. What's that about? A guy who's an amplifier?
No, where he gets that actually is a pretty good character,
I
Congressman.
would pay to see that.
If-
I'd pay to see that.
If somebody was playing guitar and then like a lightning bolt hit the amplifier and they became Amped Man.
You forgot where he's standing on a Viking burial ground.
Yeah, oh, that's true. So he also has the power of his Viking power coursing through his blood as well.
And has he done anything super recently?
He has. He's done these Ant-Man movies, and he just did a third one.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's great. Well, if you have a moment, I'd love you to ask a question for me.
What's that?
I'd ask him the question every person who goes to movies would like answered now.
What's that?
Why can't today's movies be longer?
I'll ask him that.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I appreciate you lending your station to me to plead my case, and whether or not I'm allowed to continue serving the people, that's up to the people.
The people will decide. I do really think you've made a real mess of it, Congressman, and it's unfortunate.
Well, it's going to be a shame when your garbage collection stops.
Oh, okay. So that's how you handle business. You just pull, sir. Your like retribution is that what you're all about? Hello? Well, we lost him. Well, that's it. Well, we had right off the bat, political Congressman Sean White Congressman is on. Very excited. Let's take a moment. I'm going to play a little music, and then we will be back. Maybe with our first guest, Peyton Reed. Let's see what's going on. What do we want to hear? Let's listen to something by Tall Dwarfs. Oh, yeah. Hello. Back on the best show. That's right. Tall Dwarfs. Nothing's going to happen. We play that. The best of New Zealand here on the best show. We get the best of everything here on the best show. Here, the phone number 201-989-0012. If you want to call, you might sit on hold for a little bit. We're not exactly going to be a phone call centric episode tonight. Why? Because we got it's Guestapalooza tonight on the best show. That's right, it's Guestapalooza. And we have some guests, and our first guest is a director. He directed Bring It On, Ant-Man, Breakup, Yes Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Down with Love, Back to the Future, and Back to the Future 2, right?
Well, the making of Back to the Future.
The making.
You should make that distinction.
Wait, you didn't make. I watched those and I was just like, Peyton did it again.
Had I led you to believe that I was responsible for the movie itself, Back to the Future 2?
You were a little blurry with your explanation.
Yeah, I apologize, no.
Now, welcome to the studio. Peyton Reed is back. Everybody, remember? Well, look, let's just get to it here.
Yeah.
It's been a journey here. When did the first Ant-Man movie, was that 2015?
It came out in 2015. We started shooting it in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started in 2014, and it was the summer of 2014. The midterm elections were around the corner.
Yeah, please, let's put this in
People
historical
were-
context.
People were excited about things.
Oh, yeah.
I go to the set in Atlanta, Georgia, the pride of the South. Atlanta, Georgia, the Peachtree State.
Sure.
And I get invited
Yeah.
to do to act in the movie, to sell Paul Rudd, who plays Ant-Man, not in his Ant-Man costume. He wasn't Ant-Man yet. Well, he was Ant-Man, right?
Yeah.
A lottery ticket.
Yeah. And again, I should reiterate, it was an invitation extended by myself as director of the movie, by Paul Rudd, the star of the movie.
Yes.
And already with, you had a sort of built-in fandom at Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige.
Sure. Yes. So that sequence, by all reports, was
Terrific.
terrific. Thank you. I didn't want to say snip, snip, snip. Hits the cutting room floor. Movie's too long. You gotta, because this is one thing I'll say as a sidebar.
Yeah.
Here's one of the things I like about your movies. You keep these things lean and mean. You're lean and mean.
Yeah.
You're not going to get no. Look, if this guy directed Infinity War, it would have been 40 minutes.
Yeah, great. Thank you. What an endorsement. But I should say that the scene was not cut for time. It was it was part of a whole montage that then that whole concept fell out of the movie.
A whole sequence fell out of the movie.
Right. Because when you say cut for time, that's like, oh, Tom's performance was great, but there wasn't time to stick around and wallow in that. It gives a different impression.
Of course. Now it happens. Now we jump forward. 2018 is the year.
Yeah.
Donald J. Trump is president.
Of course.
The LeBron James is going to the Lakers. All the thrilling things that were in the air at that point. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Shoots in 2017. I believe.
That's right. Yep.
Shoots in 2017. Back to Georgia, Peachtree State, pride of the South. I'm back again. I am told there's a character named Sonny Birch, played by the great Walton Goggins, one of my favorite actors, by the way.
Absolutely.
One of the funniest actors. And as a sidebar,
yeah,
good guy. He's a good guy.
Great guy.
Great guy.
I love Walton.
So funny. I, along with John Worster, I'm told we will be goons. Sonny Birch's goons for the big chase scene, which was quite a chase scene. One of the best. This is my list here.
Yeah.
Bullet.
Okay.
French Connection.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and Wasp.
Oh, wow.
Then Smokey and the Bandit.
Uh-huh.
That's your third on that list.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is ahead of Ronin.
Ronin. Ahead of John Frankenheimer's Ronin.
Yeah. Ahead of Bogdanovich's What's Up, Doc?
Ahead of What's Up, Doc, yes. Renowned for its extreme car chases.
Yeah.
Ahead of Smokey and the Bandit, ahead of Megaforce, ahead of any of the Hal Needham, the Hooper.
Wow.
Stroker Race.
Classic car chase.
Yeah. We shoot it. We're driving around.
Yeah.
I was told the operative word on that one. What was the operative word?
The operative word that I have lived to regret ever uttering was uncuttable.
Uncuttable.
Uncuttable. Until I cut it.
And much like the realities in these Marvel movies, clearly time was altered to where the uncuttable became cuttable. Suddenly, some sort of magic happened. Perhaps Scarlet Witch intervened and and we went back into time and cut. Finally.
Listen, the reality is you get in the editing room, you're finishing the movie, you're tightening the movie.
Of course.
It's got to sing, and then...
Exactly. I get it. I was on the wrong end of quality filmmaking. So, looky Lou, what comes around now? Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania. And this one, don't blame part one on Peyton. Blame it on COVID-19, because I was getting ready for a costume fitting. I'm like, oh, well, there's a protocol before you go for costume fitting to just do a COVID test.
It was set. You were on the call sheet.
I was ready. Yes.
We were ready for you. We had a mark on the set in place for you.
I'm not going to say what scene it is because it wouldn't be fair to an actor, but I mean, look, Jonathan Majors is a great actor and he did great with the part that I was going to do.
Oh, no.
That's
you weren't there for Kang. It was a different thing. Yeah.
Well, it's
an interesting take on the character. I suppose.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hey, Ant-Man.
That's Kang.
Yeah.
He growls.
I'll do whatever I want. I'm Kang.
He's from the Bronx, Colin?
I win.
Kang? Hey, Ant-Man. What are you doing?
So the fates intervene. You're exempt on that one. You were in the clear. You were as hurt as anybody by that.
No, and I appreciate. I want to just sit in that for a moment because I do want to. I really appreciate you saying that now to your listeners and viewers and anyone else. This could appear in print at some point. Anyone getting this information, it's important. I thank you for acknowledging that. We really made every effort to get you in this movie. I can't imagine having done an Ant-Man trilogy without you in it somehow.
But then you said, "Don't worry."
Yes.
We're shooting a whole other thing in September. You said, get ready. You said, go get your, I hope you like bread bowl clam chowder and I hope you like sea lions and I hope you like prisons on islands because we're going to San Francisco.
Yep. Yeah.
To shoot a scene where I was to be a part of the Ant-Man world at that point. And then you came into the studio.
Yes.
And told me on air.
Yeah.
Now, then this is the thing. I've heard nothing for the last 5, 6 months. Was that real? Was that real? Were you putting on look, if I was putting on an act for that, I would be starring in these Ant-Man movies. I'd be the greatest actor you've ever seen.
Yeah, that was real. And we can talk about it now. I can tell you what you knew what that scene was. There was a scene. Can I talk about the scene that was so
course,
There was going to be a scene, which is not in the final movie of Quantum Mania, as we revealed on air, unfortunately on air. That was probably a bad call on my part, Tom. But anyway.
Optics. Not great optics.
Not great. So there was a scene that we were going to shoot in San Francisco at a Giants baseball game. It was a quick part of an opening montage that is in Quantum Mania, but it was a beat where Scott Lang was going to be doing a public appearance. He was going to go big and knock one out of the park, and it was a cool visual thing.
Sure.
And again, as we this time we didn't shoot it and cut it. We realized in the cutting room, like, no, this is one beat too many here. We cut it before we shot it. So, I came on the show and I figured I needed to tell you, and I made a what I would call a misjudgment to have told you on the air.
Yeah. Well, look, you didn't expect to see my little heartbreak. Yeah,
the word stricken comes to mind. You were stricken. I could see that. And as you've produced a sort of a piece recently that,
well, you know what?
Yeah. That was not meant
can
to be
we play the piece?
That wasn't meant to be a segue.
Can we play it? Can we bring it up on the screen in studio? I would like.
Oh, great.
Is that possible?
Ugh.
I like that. It sure is, Tom. See, that's what my
can we humiliate Peyton Reed further? Thank you. Let's get that on the screen as soon as possible.
And this is made by the team, the Best Show team. I'm not sure who wants to be credited on it. It is something else.
Oh, yeah.
On their And I can give some insight into the production on this if anybody wants a look. Nobody got cut out of this production too. I just want to say, when we hire people, they're in the finished product. That's how we do it here.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting cut.
Oh.
Yes, this went online last over the last few days. And also, I want to just say, as a sidebar, I realized in that episode of The Best Show that I was cut from 2 projects. Did you hear about the second one? Ronnie Bronstein, who co-writer of Uncut Gems and co-writer of Good Time, all the Safdies things. He revealed that I did a voice for an animated thing he was working on, and that I had just been cut from that also.
For time, or?
I believe so. But then, look, the whole thing went down in flames. Not saying anything about smoting, righteous sinners in the hand of an angry God, Cotton Mather. Not talking about Cotton Mather, Old Testament. But let's just say the scores gets like there's something operating that levels the playing field. When I get wronged, the fates intervene sometimes, and sometimes it's 100-fold what you receive. So here's this video that was put online telling the story. Have you seen this? Show, you're on the air.
Peyton Reed calling in. Director of the #1 movie of the world, basically, right now.
The director of Ant-Man.
Tom actually shot a scene in downtown Atlanta. It was actually a montage sequence that ended up not making it into the movie.
So then here comes Ant-Man and the Wasp. Film a thing for it.
Uncuttable.
Yeah, uncuttable.
Until I cut it.
Yesterday there was a press conference.
Have there been any talks about you returning for a 3rd film in the series? And if you do, will you be cutting Tom Scharpling from that movie too?
So Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania comes rolling around, and
we have had to cut. I probably should not have done this on the air. I'm looking at your face right now.
That's right. That tells the story. That's our version of cinema, Peyton. That's us telling. It's kind of like Dunkirk. That was my version of Dunkirk. Three separate stories in one thing. 70 seconds.
I don't remember in Dunkirk someone's a laughter at a joke being recontextualized as the mad cackle of the heel in the story now.
Yeah.
And then, of course, doubling back and doing the quick cut to blacks and the closer and closer.
Look, were techniques from that was kind of like a little bit of the Willie Horton campaign, like that was used to like it is a great Lee political ad. There's a little bit of Lee Atwater.
It's a great political ad, and by the way, hats off to everybody here who put that together. That it's brilliant, and it really paints me as a first class.
Just Kang, you're like Kang.
I'm like Kang in this universe. Yeah, I love it.
Kang the Conqueror.
Hey, Tom, you're not going to be in this trilogy. That kind of a Kang, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But much like these Marvel movies, you sit in your seat, show the credits.
Yeah.
Then sometimes there's more.
You mean like a tag scene?
A tag, yes.
Yeah.
Look, and sometimes you sit with these Marvel things, you sit all through the credits, you see 8,000 names roll by, and then they throw a thing at you, you're just like, oh my God, that is going to be the most amazing thing. Other times you do it and it's you see, you watch a thing and like it's like Vision's eating a hamburger, and you just waited 11 minutes. Meanwhile, now I got to pay an hour at the parking garage now. I think there might be a whole Marvel parking garage thing that we're going to get to the bottom. See if they like to run those movies a little bit past when your ticket expires. You got to pay that 1 hour.
I'm still stuck on Vision eating a hamburger.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's a space hamburger.
Yeah.
So that was that day. But the next day, I wake up to a text from you saying, "What are you doing today?"
Yeah. And
this is also, that thing was 100% real, and this is 100% real, and we have not been able to, we have not been able to talk about any of this because it's an in production thing. Just, you're not supposed to talk about these things while the thing is still in production. But now that it's done, so you say to me, "What are you doing today?" I say, just kind of crying, kind of licking my wounds, thinking about giving up. You said, "Don't give up yet. We're shooting today, and I got something for you."
Yeah.
So I drive over to the lot, as they say. Get on the lot. Pretty sweet parking spot. Fourth floor.
Fourth floor.
Fourth floor.
In the deck, yeah.
Fourth floor on the deck.
Yeah.
Not on the ground. Fourth floor. It's better. You can see the whole lot from up there.
This is over at the Radford lot in the valley, yeah?
I believe so, yeah. So I get there, and I'm told that you're shooting. You say, "Get in the chair." You're going through the works.
The works. Put Tom Scharpling into the works.
Yes. And I am turned into...
You were turned into a character who appears in the new motion picture, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Because let me say this to the listeners. I shot a thing. Look, am I in it as much as Paul Rudd? No.
Yeah.
Am I in it as much as Evangeline Lilly? No. You're going to go a long way. What is my running time in the movie? 3 seconds?
I will say it's probably between 3 and 4 seconds, but it's a close-up.
Look, I saw the movie. I'll say it. I saw the movie last night.
Yes, you did.
I went to the premiere, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. First class production. I'm telling you, they got hamburgers, they got sodas, they got hot dogs, anything you wanted. They're like macaroni and cheese ball.
This sounds like my kid's birthday party.
Well, it was like a birthday party for people who like movies. So I go to this premiere, and I get swept through. First class treatment. So I want to thank you for that. They swept me right past all these losers and these bums. I'm just breezing past them as they're just like, "Oh, well, I'm trying to get it to you."
You had clearance.
Sit down, watch the movie. And I'm in the movie for like 3 or 4 seconds. Solo shot. When would you say that people what would be, I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah.
When should people start to get ready to look for it?
So you're asking as they're in the movie watching Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Not that you want to say when, not that you want to say exactly the scene, but what should they start to, how would you say that they should start, that's when they should start looking? They
should perk up suddenly and they start looking. I would say, I don't know, you're roughly around the maybe 35, 40 minute mark, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And you do get a considered close-up.
Mm-hmm.
You were shot by noted cinematographer, was it Bill Pope who shot it? Yeah, it was Bill Pope. I think it was Bill Pope, yeah. And You went through the works.
Yeah.
Should we talk about? I don't want to create any spoilers here.
Full crazy makeup.
Full crazy makeup. And the other thing I would like to add is,
yes,
this character that you play is a character that was created entirely for you. You are a new character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this character was literally created for you, Tom Scharpling, because I felt, and I think you'll feel the same way, it was the absolute least I could do, because you earned this. If anyone's ever earned a part in Hollywood, you earned this part.
Yes.
And
so and this is the thing, and I want to say this to everybody who listens. Look, for 8 years, you've given this guy a hard time. Not unlike Darth Vader himself when he picks up the Emperor. He's like, and throws him. Sometimes the villain can turn into the hero.
Tom, are you giving me a redemption arc?
This is I'm not giving it to you. You gave yourself the redemption arc. First of all, there's a message. Everybody, you leave him alone now. You be nice to him on Twitter. Any comment you say, like, how are you going to hurt Tom again? He's done. He's off the hook forever. He's on our side. He always was. But the arc is over. Redemptive moment, 3 seconds of glory. And look, did I feel a surge in the crowd? It felt like, because it felt like, look, the movie is amazing. I love the movie.
Thank you, Tom.
I love the Marvel movies. I know what you do with them. You make the funniest ones. And I'm just going to say this. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, has literally two moments that are the funniest moments by a mile that are in any of these movies.
Oh.
So funny. Like extended funny. Funny, capital F funny. So yes. I did feel, but like you feel a thing where people are like, what's this movie going to be? How is it going? Then suddenly that happens. And then they're like, yeah. Then it's just like, oh, now we're cooking.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, the movie's just rolling.
Yeah.
It's like when you're watching Smokey and the Bandit, the fourth greatest car chase movie after Ant-Man and the Wasp. And they're trying to steal beer. And you're like, what am I? They're like, I got the key. I'll write a note. And you're just like, what are they? What are you guys doing to us here? Like you're watching that part. But then from that point on, you got Snowman.
Yeah.
You got the Bandit.
Yeah.
You got Frog.
It starts cooking at that point.
You got Turn Left, Daddy. Right? Turn left, Daddy.
There it is.
Turn right, Daddy. We'll be in the clear.
Uh-huh. I have to say, as a side note, nothing pleases me more than your Southern accent. And it's a catch-all.
Well, it's Jackie Gleason's faulty Southern accent that I'm just bringing to life.
Yeah,
he was actually researching the part. Like he didn't go live in Alabama for 6 months before Smokey and the Bandit.
He essayed a role of a Southern law enforcement officer in a way that few other actors have.
Sure,
and
everybody.
It's the reason you're talking about it today, all these years later. But your Jackie Gleason in Smokey and the Bandit impression is very close to your Foghorn Leghorn impression, or your old white frat guy eating at Mama Dip's Country Kitchen in Chapel Hill impression. They're all really kind of the same voice, and I love it every time I hear it.
We get it done.
Yeah.
It's not where you start, it's where you begin. Just remember that. I just want to play a little thing here. If this gives you a little context, this is the inspiration for so much of what I do.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper, make it fast. I'm in a goddamn hurry.
Yeah.
For my whole life, I've been fascinated with Diablo sandwiches too. Have you grew up in North Carolina?
I did.
Have you ever had a Diablo sandwich?
Never heard of it except out of Jackie Gleason's mouth in Smoking
What
the
is
Bandit.
it? What is it? I think it's a meat sandwich with hot sauce.
Yeah, it's
on
got
it.
to be some kind of hot sauce, some kind of, what was it?
Yeah.
Texas Pete? I don't know what it would have been.
Yeah.
That was before the big hot sauce craze where you could go to a hot sauce kiosk at the farmer's market and
exactly
and
then
collect them all.
So where you watch an episode of The Hot Ones, for example, and you watch.
Yeah.
And I will say this. If you watch The Hot Ones, Ant-Man's Paul Rudd is maybe the all-time champion of that show where
it's impressive.
He did not drink water. Is that correct?
That's correct.
He just rode the ride the whole time. I don't know how he did that.
Well, he knows also if you drink water when you have hot sauce, it opens up the taste buds and it makes it worse.
Okay.
It exacerbates the problem.
Sure. You're supposed to drink milk.
Can I? That's right. Or like suck on a cucumber. Okay, can we talk about the character?
In Ant-Man and the Wasp.
In Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania.
Yes.
And this character has a name.
Yes. And this is the thing. We're on set. I'm in this makeup. And Peyton says, what should we name the character? And I say, I don't know. Does my name look like Jeff Loveness? I didn't write this thing.
Jeff Loveness is the screenwriter of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Very funny gentleman.
No, he's very funny. He did an amazing job with this movie too. I tip my hat to him. So seriously, the amazing job. Then you say to me, what about this name for the character? And what is the name? And if anything, it's going to prove to you that Peyton gets it. What is the name of the character you came up with? My character.
Well, you had to coexist in the quantum realm with characters like Quaz and Veb and Zalem. It had to be kind of like a space name. So I landed on Nabridge, and that's capital N apostrophe capital BRIJ. Nabridge.
Nabridge. Now, has there ever been a more inside track, best show, Scharpling and Worcester reference than the character's name is Nabridge? Everybody.
And Nabridge is now officially Marvel Cinematic Universe canon.
Yes. I had to go, after I filmed this scene, I had to go into a thing and they took every picture Matrix style of me.
They scanned you. Yeah.
They did the scan. So keep your eyes out this Halloween for the Bridge costumes.
Yeah, the action figures.
The action figures
on the shelves.
Christmas, start looking for the.
Yeah.
So I would say this. Also, so look, the saga has concluded. I'm in the movie. 4 seconds of glory. I'm in it. Thank you. It's over.
Thank you, Tom. It's been quite a journey. And listen, as you're watching the movie, I made sure the fine people who make our end credit roll, which goes on for how long? 7 minutes, whatever.
Sure.
As it's listing the cast, I made sure that in the bridge, Tom Scharpling is the last credit in the actor credit. So it stands out.
Amazing.
So people are enjoying who's in the movie, whatever. What it ends. You always go to that last
Final
name.
one.
Tom Scharpling.
Because you watch it and you're just kind of like, well, this guy must be more important than Michael Douglas.
And Michael Douglas is actually in the main on-end credits.
Yeah, no,
he's
I
in the main
understand
credits.
that.
You're in the credit roll.
Yeah, but he's just one of. It's like, is he more
A
important
few.
than Paul Rudd? Is he? I don't know. He's in the middle there somewhere, upper tier. It's Rudd.
Yeah.
Sharpling.
Yeah. Sure.
Everybody else in the
You're a
middle is just
bookend.
kind of negotiable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You and Rudd, first and last, you bookend the thing.
You got a bookshelf. Those books are going to fall this way or they're going to fall that way.
Yeah.
You got Rudd holds the thing in there. Sharpling there. Those books stay put.
That is one way to look at it. Yeah.
Now, a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Brett Davis, do you have that clip? Couple Marvel related questions.
Sure.
First of all, this movie, right? Oh no, let's do this first. I just want you to focus on the pronunciation of a certain word that our own Brett Davis cannot unhear this.
Okay.
Can you play the scene, please?
Please, don't let your past determine the future.
As long as I am alive, nobody will ever get that formula.
Okay. Formula. He's
Formula? No.
Play it again.
Formula.
Play it again. This is from Ant-Man 1.
Yes.
Please,
Saying to the
don't let
audience.
your past determine the future.
As long as I am alive, nobody will ever get that formula.
Formula. It's an open A.
As long
Formula.
as I'm alive, nobody will ever get that formula. Formula.
There's no way.
Let's hear it
that
again.
Michael Douglas.
Let's hear it again.
Hollywood royalty says formula.
Let's hear it again.
Okay.
Please, don't let your past determine the future.
As long as I am alive, nobody will ever get that formula.
There's
Formula.
a little. No, there's a little.
No. Someone put this in your head, and now you
Formula.
think you're hearing it.
No, he goes. He doesn't go
As
formula.
long as
He goes.
long as I'm alive, nobody will ever get that formula.
He does, now you're going
It's in the back
so
of the
big
throat.
with the He goes.
As long as I'm alive, nobody will ever get that formula.
He hits an R at the very end of it.
No.
Okay, look.
We are going to have to agree to disagree. You can do a poll.
Okay.
Is that the kind of thing you guys do? Do you do online polls?
We do. We do.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
if you
People
put
are
it to
saying,
your
people
listeners,
are saying I should shut my mouth or I'm going to get cut again. It's a little bit last minute.
Yes.
Your last minute.
I'm going to go around to
crack
every
the
theater.
edit open.
Going around to every theater.
Yeah.
Across the globe.
Now, just another thing. This movie. Do you know this movie here? Can you help me
Spider-Man
out?
No Way Home. Yes.
I bought this.
Oh.
The Blu-ray has a skip on it.
The Blu-ray has a skip on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it froze.
Oh.
Right when Ned was on the screen, too. Ned's trying to explain something.
Yeah.
This thing freezes. Like, who can I talk to about this?
I could get that to some people who might be able to disregard it immediately.
Can we work this up the chain?
First of all, I'd like to say I'm pleased that you're a physical media guy.
Yes.
That you still buy the Blu-rays.
Yes, I do.
And I'm going to pledge to you right now
Mhm.
on the show,
Yeah.
in front of everybody, at such time that Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania comes out on physical Blu-ray.
Yeah.
You tell me, Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray,
Yeah.
whatever your preference is.
Okay. Yeah.
That's on me. Compliments of the house.
I like it. I like a freebie.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
But seriously, I mean, is this like a Feige thing?
That's probably the fastest way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we call him?
Let me see. I don't know if he's home yet from the chunk. Oh, my phone. I had to turn my phone off. They wouldn't allow me in the
They
studio.
wouldn't let the phone.
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
no.
yeah. Sorry. But I can call him on
Sure.
you
Please
know,
bring
on the
it up.
drive
Like,
home.
just say.
Yeah.
Just say it doesn't work. It had 2 moments where it froze.
Is that the standard or the 4K?
Oh,
that's a Blu-ray.
It's a Blu-ray.
Okay.
It's the
Plus
combo.
the DVD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plus the So
It might be. You have the digital code there. You could just input the digital code, and you'd have a digital
Yeah, but I
streaming
would
version
just-
of it.
I mean, I should have every option available to me as the consumer.
That's true.
Um,
That also comes with the standard DVD version.
It does, yes. But I was watching the Blu-ray.
You could skip and just watch the Ned speech in DVD, and once
Mhm.
the skip is over, you go back to the Blu-ray. And
Sure.
then
I could. That's fair.
pick up the rest of it.
It's a fair amount of work. So you've done this movie. I just want to talk about the movie for a second.
Sure.
The first movie is like a heist. It's a heist.
Yeah.
Second movie, it's like action-y car chase. That's one. It seriously is one of the great. I love the car chase. It's so much fun.
Thank you.
Because you do work in. You work in your thing, because your thing is you are funny, and you have these inventive elements that you work into the flow of a thing. Dare I say it's Spielberg-esque.
Oh.
Where you know how to squeeze the most out of an action scene. I can tell. I'm going to project now. Now we go back to 1981.
Oh.
A young Peyton Reed sitting in a theater watching Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Because when I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark at like the advanced screening the night before. I was just like, I cannot wait to see this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know two things about it, except that Han Solo had a whip all of a sudden. Right?
Yeah, that's part of the story. Han Solo gets
I'm just saying for me as a kid.
Of course. Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like,
yeah.
It's Lucas, it's Spielberg, and it's Han Solo.
Yeah. They're making a movie together.
You think I knew Bob Falfa at that point?
Yeah. As a kid, you're a huge Bob Falfa.
Bob Falfa's here.
Yeah.
Or the guy who built Elliot Gould's cabinets is here.
Yeah.
That woodworker?
He built Sergio Mendes' studio out in the valley.
That also must have been the most amazing thing when just like people are just like, wait a minute. That guy who built my kitchen cabinets.
That guy screwed up my storage shelf.
Yeah. He's now in the biggest movie ever. He's like the best part of the biggest movie ever. Yeah. They must have, that's a true Hollywood story.
Yeah.
Of Harrison Ford just with his tool belt.
Shirtless, probably.
Shirtless.
I feel like he made that whole cabinet, studio, kitchen, whatever he was doing, completely shirtless.
And he's just like,
baked.
Where do you want it? And he's just like,
can you hand me that hammer and nail? I just got to finish hanging this cabinet.
Where's my drill? But you sit in that theater. I never had my mind blown by a movie ever. Like the level of the action.
It's unbelievable.
Because it kept going like this and it goes up again. That freaking thing when he's got the whip on the trucks moving down the road is one of the most, that made more of an impression on me than just about anything in terms of the idea that there is no limit to like the intensity that you can get out of a scene. And just when you think you've had enough, you can find another gear.
It's incredible. I happened to be working at a movie theater in Raleigh, North Carolina, that summer of '81, where Raiders was playing. Mm-hmm. So of course I saw it on my own, but then I could see it. I saw it dozens and dozens of times. Once people were seated, I would sit in. I mean, it's seared into my brain, like shot for shot, and it is such incredible filmmaking. And it's also Spielberg coming off 1941, which was this gigantic, bloated thing. So much money was spent.
Yeah.
And now he's working for producer George Lucas, who's saying like, you're not going to come in a penny over this thing. And so he's on a budget.
Yeah.
And he's got stuff to prove. Like it just caught everybody at the right time. It's so great.
Yeah. That and there's also just the idea he knew when it was time to be like, oh, there's 50 guys fighting in a thing. Oh, it's all these trucks going. And then he just knows when to strip it down to just two people. Suddenly he's like on the runway with the plane going around and that strong guy. Suddenly that guy.
Yeah.
Like he just knew it's just like, sometimes it's just you got to get back to basics again. Like make it just him versus somebody else.
Yeah.
It just like, so was that probably did that make what made the biggest impact on you? Star Wars? That? What were the other ones that like, just where they are tattooed on your brain and everything's kind of almost run through the filter of those movies?
The very first one for me, I'm a little bit older. The very first one for me was the original Planet of the Apes, 1968. Okay. And when I was a kid, CBS used to run that on Friday nights. And then I finally saw it in a theater. And that is a movie that is probably the movie that made me want to make movies. The makeup, the ape makeup is awesome. Charlton Heston is over the top, and that movie grows with you as you get older because it's it's a dark movie when you look at it.
Yeah,
he's this misanthrope. He's turned his back on mankind. He's traveled out to space, and then he has to kind of become an apologist for the human race. And it has a lot to say about race and religion and all that stuff. It's fantastic.
So that's one of the ones. Do you feel like did you read this Quentin Tarantino book that came out, Cinema Speculation?
Yes.
It's an amazing book. If you want to read a book that, even if you are not somebody who, nobody could read this book and say, I agree with 100% of the things in this, except for Quentin Tarantino. But it is a fascinating, he breaks down, you understand what makes him tick. he talks about his movie going experiences when he was 7, when
Yeah.
he was 8. And then you're like, he's been chasing certain moments for his whole life to get to create that moment that he experienced when he was 8.
Yeah.
And there's a thing where he was basically, his mother was dating a guy who was a person of color, wanted to take the kid to the movies. They went downtown in LA.
Yep.
He's the only white kid in the whole theater.
Yeah.
And he heckles the screen at a point, and the entire theater laughs. And he's just been chasing that moment for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And it's shocking with that stuff. So these movies, those are Planet of the Apes. Are you chasing that? Like, do you feel like in some way?
It's all that stuff. Like it is, you remember how those movies made you feel, or sequences or moments in those movies made you feel. And there's an exhilaration, and it's either fear or it's just this responding to the kinetics of the filmmaking. I remember hearing this story about Spielberg and Zemeckis, and they were previewing Jaws in 75, and they were showing it to a bunch of people somewhere in Hollywood. And it's the scene, spoiler alert, it's the scene where Quint...
I didn't get a chance to see it
sorry.
yet.
Quint gets eaten by the shark. And Spielberg recalled like hearing someone like, like laughing really loudly at that moment, which he thought in the moment was a really odd response.
Yeah.
And he found out later it was a young Zemeckis who was, I think, still at USC Film School.
Sure.
And Zemeckis explained that he was laughing just at the exhilaration of like how great the filmmaking was.
Yeah.
And you have that feeling too. It's like that you see something, it's like, oh my God, you still, I can still be compelled to like yell and scream and laugh out loud in a movie theater. I love it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's part of the experience. But Raiders has that in that chase and just these moments that are pitch perfect. And like you said, they're, it's firing on all cylinders until it finds another cylinder you didn't know about.
And I don't think there's a better example of pacing in an action movie than that movie, because it knows when it's time to calm it down, when it's time to focus on the characters, and then when it starts dialing up. Those movies to me were like basically the death of like James Bond movies in a way, because that's when James Bond became, suddenly it's like you have this, or you have Roger Moore going like judo chop, and he's like,
well, it's two things. It's like
this
Spielberg
88-year-old man in a tuxedo suddenly just like, it's just like, don't mind if I do, and
a pigeon does a double take. They rock and roll a shot of a pigeon doing a double take. But Raiders, like, there's two things that Spielberg wanted to make a Bond movie, and they wouldn't let him. And George Lucas said, like, I got something better.
Yeah.
So he took that attitude of like, I want to make the ultimate action thing. And the second thing is that I remember when it came out, critics at the time, I think pretty much everybody loved that movie, but certain critics were like, well, they've taken out all the slow parts and it's just a roller coaster ride. It was maybe one of the first movies they referred to as a roller coaster ride.
Sure.
Which is obviously a cliche now, but like at that time it was like, it's just nonstop action. But that movie became the template for everything that followed.
Yeah.
In terms of how, and I remember on Temple of Doom, they talked about playing with how fast you could edit and how fast the cuts could be, and the audience could still follow the action, how they're really pushing it in that second movie. But it really, those movies set the tempo for all the action movies to follow.
Yeah. And to me, the craziest thing now is like, I think these Mission Impossible movies are at the highest level of that now, where they are like, I don't know how you could even try to say like, hey, we're going to make a James Bond movie, because they're doing it again, where they're just like, the action scene ends and then it's just Tom Cruise, and they put a blueprint on a table, and they just suddenly going like, they give you like 2 minutes to recover.
Yeah.
2-3 minutes to just like catch your breath, settle back down. And he's saying like, all right, we got to go here and then go there. And then suddenly the trucks are rolling.
Yeah.
They're just suddenly in the trucks going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's been a franchise, except for Ant-Man, that gets better with each one. These movies, they get better. These Mission Impossible movies.
The filmmaking in the Mission Impossible movies is extraordinary. And like it or not, Tom Cruise's commitment to that, and just constantly raising the bar is really impressive, right? I mean, they're just, it's all about like cutting out that shoe leather.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just action.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the next ones.
Now, Star Wars big influence on you, obviously. The Marvel stuff's obviously because you were literally drawing Ant-Man when you were a kid.
Yeah,
like you have physical proof that you were how old when you were drawing like the cover of Avengers?
I was drawing stuff as a kid, but then I was a drummer for a band in North Carolina in the mid '80s, and I would draw the flyers for the shows or gigs, as we called them. Yeah. It's a music term.
Yeah.
And I drew one that was a total ripoff of the cover of Avengers #1, and I drew the band members as members of the Avengers, and I drew myself as Ant-Man.
Isn't that the most? That's the most.
It's weird.
That's so.
And we
weird.
showed it at Comic-Con in 2014 when I came on the movie, and it was a weird thing to sort of feel somehow fated to do Ant-Man in a way.
I know you have to get going, Ant-Man, because this movie. I was disappointed. It was a thread. I'm going to pick up on it. The first one, it's grounded. It's a heist movie. Second one, expanded out a little more. Still both feet on the ground, but now some quantum stuff starting to poke through.
Yep.
But still, it's a conventional movie for the most part. But this one is bonkers.
Yeah.
You are not walking around in reality for 98% of this movie.
Yeah, it's true.
But that is just like, what is that like to take the same tools, people, and now we're just doing it so differently?
To me, it's something that it did feel like a logical progression of the story and those characters. It made sense because we were really kind of just answering this question that we'd set up in the last couple of movies.
Answering this question.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you.
That is good. We set up this thing and we left the audience with this question. What was Janet Van Dyne doing for 30 years in the quantum realm? We needed to answer that. And we wanted to take the audience down. And again, having read those comics as a kid, it's the microverse. We wanted to explore, the microverse became the quantum realm in the movies. So it made sense, but it also made sense in terms of like, we got to mix it up. To me, the cardinal sin you can commit in these movies is to repeat yourself. You got to do something different and not bore the audience. And this just felt like, oh, I have a chance here. None of the other Marvel movies have mined
chance.
Go ahead. Let me find my train of thought again. We had the opportunity to create the quantum realm. Like none of the other Marvel movies were dealing with that. It was something we had introduced into the MCU, and then we could just make it whatever we wanted to.
Yeah.
So to me, we had this crazy team of artists and under our production designer, Will Tay. And it was like, let's take things from show me your portfolios. We have to come up with all these weird creatures and races and environments and everything. And I wanted it to be this grab bag of stuff I love. Like, there's a little bit of Flash Gordon in there. There's a little bit of Heavy Metal magazine from the 70s and 80s. Maybe there's a little Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and just, science fiction paperback cover art.
Yeah.
Just stuff that, was really evocative. And it was our chance to create this really wide and varied thing because we were going to be living in those environments for almost the entire movie.
Yeah. It's really, it's just fun for you to just get to, because the Ant-Man movies, they're my favorites because they're just funny, and I just like that's the combination I always like. And your sense of humor is my sense of humor, so it's always just worked for me as at the most optimal level. So, but they've always been complementary to the big thing. They're kind of like even like Ant-Man and the Wasp. You're just like, where does this even fit? Because it came out between the two.
Oh yeah, we were stuck
Avengers
between
Infinity
War and Endgame.
Yeah, so you're just kind of like you're like you're almost like the sidebar to the main story.
Yeah, we're like if you're on the phone with someone and they give you a horrible dramatic piece of news and you're just reeling from it. And then they put you on hold. It's like, hey, can you hold for a second? And then there's hold music playing.
Yeah.
That was Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then they pick the phone back up again and they resolve the problem.
Start talking.
That's Endgame.
And the hold music is a song you like.
Yeah, you like it.
Oh, I like that song.
It's great.
That's great. That was fun.
It's great. But you're just rocking from the news you just got.
Yeah. But now it's great to see that this is this is now kicking off like real stuff. You're not the sidebar anymore. You're not the hold music.
Yeah.
Like this is a load bearing wall.
Yeah. And I certainly don't think of Ant-Man and the Wasp as hold music.
No, but
that's a joke I make on a show. I love that movie.
But we're just saying.
But now,
in terms of the big narrative.
Yeah. I always liked that Ant-Man that we were playing in the margins.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to carry any of the water of the sort of Infinity Stones and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This one, we're kicking off this phase 5 in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And, that was the thing we wanted to do. I talked to Kevin Feige. I said, I want this to be an Avengers level movie. I want to do something really different with it. And wouldn't it be cool to put Ant-Man and the Wasp, maybe the most unlikely Avengers, up against a big villain?
Yeah.
And in the comics, you read the comics.
Yeah.
Who's the Mount Rushmore of Marvel Comics villains? There's Thanos, there's Doctor Doom.
There's Galactus.
Galactus, right? You know, and in the MCU, there's Killmonger, right? There's Loki, certainly.
Sure.
But Kang the Conqueror in the comics, he was hanging out there and sort of ripe for the picking.
Waiting, yeah.
Yeah. And we thought, like, it's such an obviously lopsided confrontation.
Yeah.
And so there's tension in it immediately. Like, well, what are Ant-Man and the Wasp going to do against Kang the Conqueror?
Yeah.
That seemed like a fun challenge to us.
Yeah.
And so,
and that's why it's not surprising that when he kills Ant-Man, because he is very powerful.
Uh-huh.
He kills Ant-Man.
I would love it. Oh, spoilers.
Look,
spoilers are a tricky thing. They're tricky.
He kills him at the end.
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
Tom, I talked to you about we can't get into verifying or negating any plot points.
Sure.
Okay.
You've
just told the audience that you saw the movie last night.
Yeah. Now you've seen movies where Austin Powers, he plays Austin Powers. He's also Dr. Evil. He's Fat Bastard. He's Gold Member.
Yeah. Where's this going?
Nutty Professor. He's Sherman Clump, and he's all family.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp 4. Ant-Man 4, Ant-Man and the Wasp 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania 2. It should be the poster.
Yeah.
All I'm saying.
It rolls up the
my dream in this life. These are my dreams. Hang out with a monkey.
Yeah.
Want to hang out with a monkey.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I wanted to ride through the Holland Tunnel.
Like a spider monkey or a member of the Monkeys band?
No,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was more like an ape. That was like a chimp.
Or a chimp, monkey.
Okay. Some simian.
Yeah. There's room for a second. All I'm saying, my dream has been to say, you can't do that to Ant-Man, to be like the citizen in a movie.
Yeah.
Because I watch Superman 2, and I know this is a movie made by the distinguished competition. You might not be able to acknowledge its existence. I will say, you might be like, what's Superman?
Sure.
You're not allowed.
You know of my love for the Christopher
I'm
Reeve
just saying, in Superman 2, when those people go up against Zod, and they're like, hey, you can't mess with Superman.
Yeah.
And then they start walking. I start crying.
They take to the streets.
And they got no powers.
You can't do that to Superman.
He's our guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I cry a little bit.
Yeah.
I see Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi one.
Yeah.
And they're saying, Spider-Man, this is New York. Or whatever they said, something like that.
Yeah.
I started bawling my eyes out because I'm just like,
you're a man of the people.
These people have no powers, but they're going to fight Doc Ock.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, I'll give you 3.
Yeah.
You can walk this over to Feige or whoever it be. Okay, here we go. You can direct me on this.
Okay,
too.
so here we go. Ready? And action.
Line. Okay. No,
You got it now?
Okay.
You off book?
Okay, here we go.
And action.
Hey, you can't do that to Ant-Man. He's one of ours.
Okay, I'd like to do one more.
Okay.
I was with it the first half.
Yeah.
You held out the R's in a way that maybe it was a little too musical. Okay. You're intense. You gotta. You may have to fight this guy you're yelling at. Here we go. Okay. And take 2.
Hey, you can't do that to Ant-Man. That's one of our guys.
Okay, so I like that. That's a different guy from take 1. Okay. And let's stick with the same guy, the sort of the New Yorkie guy from the first
New Yorkie
one,
guy. Okay.
as opposed to the guys up from Charlotte.
Sure. Hey, you can't do that to Ant-Man. He's one of ours.
Okay. All right. I like that guy. He's friendly. He's warm. But I want to see that same guy, that same character. But he's in a situation he's never been in. He may have to go up against General Zod, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta. He's got to summon up his inner strength. Here we go.
Okay.
And action.
You can't do that to Ant-Man. He's one of ours.
Okay. That's usually. I think we've got it. Mm-hmm. So we've got it. This one, just have fun with this one.
Okay, have fun with this one.
Yeah. That's your favorite piece of direction, right? Just have fun with this
nuts.
one. Yeah.
Just go nuts.
Here we go. And
I watch you direct, and you usually do. Then you say, just go nuts.
I've never said that in my life. Here we go. Like I say, hey, Michael Douglas. Yeah, Peyton. Just go nuts. What the hell? Geez, that's the worst piece of direction I've ever received in my entire career. That's what would happen to me.
People were also begging when they heard you were coming back to do your Michael Douglas impression.
Oh,
people
look at that.
Your Michael Douglas, so they got a good taste. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, and action.
You can't do that to Ant-Man, or I'll never give you the formula.
Oh. You son of a bitch.
Well,
yeah, you brought it right back. He does not say formula.
Okay, well, we'll settle it on the set of Ant-Man for he who I will be playing the Dazzler.
We are bringing the Dazzler into the MCU.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But in terms of the casting, it's a guy.
We start the wardrobe fittings.
Sure. And
well, let's just do the wardrobe fitting.
Let's just do the wardrobe fitting. Look, Peyton Reed, you know I love you. You're the best. Thank you for all the fun with all this stuff, and we've all been laughing for this whole time. Nobody take any of this stuff too seriously. Was my heart broken? Yeah, you all saw it.
What do you do now? They know that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come
Ant-Man
in here.
4 Revenge of the Bridge. Thank you. There it is, right there.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
What he's a vengeful guy, the bridge?
Well, he's coming from the quantum realm.
Oh, okay. No spoilers, please.
It'd be like, Ant-Man, there is serious trouble in the quantum realm. You need to return. So I'm going to cast this spell.
Oh, he's magical.
He's like, it's like a window, and it's like an actual window, and we lift it up and go down it. And then looking in the window is John Belushi from Animal House.
I thought you were going to say from Neighbors. It's John Belushi from Neighbors.
No, it's one of the first R-rated movies I saw by myself. That's the first one I saw alone in a theater, Neighbors. My parents pulled up, went to the box office. It's an R-rated movie. My mother walks up to him and she goes, he's good. And then they just sold me the ticket.
And cut to young Tom in the theater. Why'd they switch roles? He should be playing the other.
What's Dan Aykroyd, the weird one? No, seriously, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania comes out on the 17th.
February 17th, yes.
It's very exciting, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And you're one of my favorite people, and this is exciting.
I feel the same way, Tom. And I want to say on behalf of Marvel, welcome to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Sure.
You're in.
I'm in. You hear that, everybody? They can't take me out now.
Paul Rudd sends his regards. I was with him today. We were doing press, and he said, make sure Tom knows we're the first and the last in the credit roll. Yeah. And welcome to the MCU.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul, wherever you are. Peyton Reed, thank you for coming by. I'm going to play a song, and then we will come back on. We got MARC MARON. It's going to be here. This is a star-packed episode of the show. Let's listen to something by my friend. This is the band that I saw where I got COVID at the show and could not be in the movie. It is Dinosaur Jr. from their most recent album, Sweeping Into Space. Be right back. Hey, are we back? Was that on the air? I hope not.
No, just now.
Oh, thank Christ. Right, Andrew? Thank Christ.
I think we covered everything when we were just talking.
So thanks for coming by,
it's
Mark.
great. It's always great to see you, Tom. Thanks so much. I brought some water.
No, I appreciate it.
It took me 10 minutes to figure out which one was right and left. They hide it
on the headphones.
But on any headphones, and no matter what, and I've been doing this a long time, it takes me 10 minutes. But look where it is. It's in here.
Yeah.
It's in here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I need the cord to be going this way just for my comfort. So whatever the side is supposed to be, I just do
it doesn't matter.
Cord going this way. I just have to.
Oh, man, you're a rule breaker.
Yeah, it's a message to the headphone industry.
Yeah.
Look out. There's a disruptor in the midst.
Look how he's doing it.
Yeah.
Look what he's doing with your phones, with the cans.
LR. Those don't mean anything to me. So, well, look.
What?
We have MARC MARON here on the show. This is exciting.
Yeah, you told me there's going to be people here. I didn't know what I was walking into.
No, it's a little.
Yeah, it's a little people out there hanging out. I brought 2 crates of water.
Thank you.
I don't need to promote the name, and I don't even know why it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did one ad for them.
Okay, yeah.
And I've got about 50 cases. It just keeps coming because I don't know how to. Why would I stop that?
Oh, I would never.
Never.
If people started sending me free anything,
that's it.
I would be just like, yeah, keep it coming. I'll sort it out of my end.
I just keep thinking about, for some reason, when I was coming over, I kept thinking about when you do radio, like morning radio, you'd go, you're like doing the road and you'd go into certain regional radio outfits and you'd walk in, there'd be like 50 donuts, 9 pizzas and a fully dressed Thanksgiving turkey. And you're like, what's happening? It's 6:30 in the morning.
Clearly.
Yeah. And the guy's like, oh, the turkey guy. He sent that over.
Yeah. Just these deals, these like handshake. And then you just know when the person just mentions in conversation on the show, just the turkey guy.
Yeah. You like turkey?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the turkey guy standing there usually. Yeah. Yeah. I thought that kind of party in the station.
Yeah. No, we're really going for that, that 6 a.m. local radio vibe here. You don't do that anymore, though, do you? Do you still have to literally
I don't have to. I think I'm going to go run around Sirius.
Okay.
On Thursday, I'm flying to New York.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Some places I'll go do Preston and Steve if I can.
Yeah. But I would hope at this point you're not walking out of a place going like, what was that?
No.
No. Like you at least know what you're going into now.
I'll only do the fun ones.
Yeah.
You're not, when you're being driven over in you're panicky. It's like, well, put it on. I want to hear what they're talking about.
Yeah.
How am I going to fit into this?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Here.
There's 3 porn actresses in there. Oh man. Like it used to be that way when you do Opie and Anthony. You're like, what am I going to be involved with?
Yeah.
That I don't necessarily want to be involved with.
You look, and then it was just like, they were laying a lot of groundwork for what the world looks like today.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what Jim's doing. He seems to be stuck in the corner over there with Sam. I'm not sure what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go by there.
Yeah.
See what's up.
No, they had a great run. One guy now does a show on an iPhone, and the other one is, I think, in international waters doing some sort of, he's like gathering the masses somewhere in parts unknown.
My God.
Yeah, that's a real. Yeah,
I'll tell you though, I don't know why we have to talk about this when we have such time is short, but but that guy said, Anthony said, one of the funniest things I ever heard in my life, off the cuff. It was at the Montreal Comedy Festival, and this is inappropriate, but the guy who was there took it well.
Okay.
it was comedians, right? It was
Sure.
me, and I think Judy Gold was there. It was at the festival. They were just running people through, and you know, and what's his name? Pete Holmes is there, and Brad Williams, the little person, is there, and he's talking about, you know, how the little people are some of them are mad at him for using the word midget.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, he should be able to, but whatever. But that was the point of the conversation, was that he gets flack as a little person for using the word midget.
For him using it in his thing.
Sure. And
Okay.
Anthony, just without missing a beat, goes, "Oh, so you're kind of like an Uncle Tom Thumb." Right?
Yeah. No,
Pretty
that's
good.
fast.
Quick.
That's fast. But those are the things. Yeah. It's very quick.
But yeah, that doesn't erase the years of misogyny and horror.
No, exactly. And you also
racism.
you see that, and then you're just like, it's dangerous that your mind works that fast. When you add in the a chip that is just evil.
Yeah, the wrong chip.
Yeah, let's run this through an evil filter, and then you use that fast brain, and it's just like, well, that's how you end up with Proud Boys.
Yeah, I don't know how it happens. I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? It was always you knew people in my world that I mean, you avoided that world. You created your own world.
Oh yeah,
But
no, look, I'm scared of every stand-up. You're like the only, like, I ask you, like, so what's this guy like? What's that guy like? Because I'm scared of all of them.
You're not scared. Not the Berbiglias and the Oswalds.
Well, no, those are my
and
that's
the
my
Holmeses.
side. That's my side of the street. Well, maybe not Holmes so much. You can have them.
I don't know what he's doing. Is he still bowling on that show, or is that?
Yeah. Wait, Pete Holmes plays a bowler? Wait, what channel's that on? Look,
the turkey out there.
I'm on record as saying the only way I would watch Crashing is if he played a pilot. That's so.
Yeah, I know. The
No,
world
but you
can-
run with the you're one of the people that you can have a foot in both camps, kind of.
Not so much anymore. I think I'm out. I think
Sure.
I've been lumped in with the woke.
Oh, sure. That they've said like, we lost Mark.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we lost him, but who needs him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people who like to laugh.
Yeah.
He was kind of good for that.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm projecting, but I don't feel like I go to New York. I don't even bother with the cellar. I just don't want to.
Sure.
But I felt that before, and I went, and it was fine. It was a Tuesday, no one was there, so it was easy. But there's a thing where I mind my own business and I do my own stuff. I don't hang around with the comics too much. I go to the Comedy Store, and then I go out on the road and I do the thing.
But isn't that ultimately the best place to be? Where
For
you
me,
you have your own.
Yeah.
You're not trying to fit, because all of us.
Yeah.
But you're well documented with, like, you try to find yourself, and
Sure.
it's a constant search for who am I actually?
Yeah.
And whether it's how you dress or
Sure.
whether it's the material you do,
Yeah.
the things you talk about. And it feels like you, over the last handful of years, have found your place.
I believe that's true. I think maybe this special, I think the last special we made a bit of a mistake with the vest. And I'm gonna have to live with that. Like I've lived with many mistakes.
Sure.
I've lived with leather pants, black velvet Nehru jacket.
Okay.
I've lived with a shirt a guy I'd met the night before designed.
So you're just like, I'm calling an audible here, everybody. Wearing this tonight. And
this
this guy,
guy-
like, I thought we agreed on what you were going to wear. It's like,
dude,
executive decision.
I'm terrible. The guy, I swear to God, I met this guy in Queens when I lived there. I might have still been married to Kim. And we met this couple, and one of them's like, I'm a fashion designer. I'm like, really? Well, I'm going to go on Conan. He's like, when? I'm like tomorrow. He's like, I'll make you pants and a shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this will be great. And I don't even think I just trusted it. Like I put it on. I knew it wasn't right. The shirt was made out of almost like the material you would make some type of curtain out of.
Okay.
And the pants had zippers on the pockets. But I was like, this guy knows what he's doing. He's cutting edge.
Yeah.
I knew him 10 minutes.
You spotted him everything.
Yeah. And,
It's
and
like,
there
here
it
are the
is.
keys to the car.
There it is. It's on television forever.
No.
But no, I think this special, I hired a stylist. Never have done that.
Amazing. Well,
Never done it. Ever.
And I'll say, when you're talking about the special, The special is From Bleak to Dark.
You know the story about that?
Oh yeah,
You've heard the story of where that comes from.
Well, can
That's
you
a great
tell?
story.
What's the story?
You know it? I told it. I don't know. I should tell it because I love it, and I guess
okay.
the guy deserves credit.
Sure.
So Sam Lipsyte and I sold this show.
Yeah.
To FX.
Sam Lipsyte, the genius author.
You love that book?
He wrote a book, and this is one of I would like to have him on at some point to talk about this book. He wrote a book that came out in December called I'm going to get the title wrong.
No One Left to Come Looking for You. I believe.
And it is basically, if you want, for people who wonder what it's about, imagine you take the early 90s New York music scene, and that's where Chinatown, the movie Chinatown, takes place.
Yeah.
Alongside Alice Donut and Railroad Jerk.
Yes.
So suddenly that's what this book is. It's mind blowing.
It's so fun.
It's so great. And I would like to talk to him at some point about it.
We'll get him on here.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But
so you and Sam sold a show
to FX, right? We wrote a script and they liked it. They want another script.
Okay.
And we wrote the story for the script, and we're doing a notes calling the stories. So you got Nick Grad, who's the head of FX over there in development, and his people, and then my management, and me and Sam on this Zoom.
Okay.
And Nick is, you know how they kind of searching for words? They're doing that thing like, hey, I got no specific notes, but because great job.
Yeah.
Great story. But is there any way we can get it from bleak to dark? And I thought, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
So I have to credit him for that. I didn't give him a thanks or an acknowledgement, but here's where it happens. And even when I said I hired a stylist, I feel awkward about it. He just chose a jacket, and it was the correct thing. And I would have fought that jacket at another point in time.
Sure.
They were my pants. They were my shoes. It was my belt.
Okay.
Socks, mine. Underwear, mine. Black T-shirt was new. Banana Republic. It didn't do. It was just a black T-shirt. I wouldn't have bought a black T-shirt at Banana Republic, but that's what came with the stuff. That's what we paid the big bucks for. And that John Varvatos leather shirt jacket.
Okay.
Now I would never think to shop at John Varvatos,
but
right?
This is what a stylist does.
Yeah, and it was great. And to follow through with that, to tell you what it. Well, look, I don't want to get weird or too much information guy, but I had a colostomy, not a colostomy, a colonoscopy.
Okay.
I'm not.
Well, I'm glad you caught yourself on that one. That would be a
would've been
whole other.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
That's a whole other road you're about to go down.
Yeah, and I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But
thanks for having me on. And you're like, I'm back.
Yeah, I had a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
And there's two stories with this, but the story I'm about to tell connects.
Okay.
So I get out. My friend Jerry Stahl picks me up because you're loopy from the drug,
Yeah.
propofenol or whatever it's called. Right? You've been under.
Sure.
And I'm up and I'm out, and we're driving. We stopped to get some lunch in Beverly Hills, and the John Varvatos store is right there, right across the street from where we ate.
Okay.
And I went in there, and I think I hallucinated buying a suit and a shirt and a pair of velvet pants on sale.
Yeah.
I dreamed that. But I got home and it was true. I have all those things.
So you in a what would you call that? A fugue state? I don't know what that
Yes, I went in and I bought a suit with a Nehru jacket.
Yeah.
I didn't learn that lesson on Conan. But that was a velvet, black velvet Nehru jacket. I got velvet pants. I'm not going to wear them on Fallon. I'm going to wear the suit.
Okay.
So I got a John Varvatos suit.
Okay.
And you know what the problem with these things is? This is how I dress now. This is it.
Okay.
I'll wear those things twice.
Sure.
And that's it. And then I'll look at them and I'll be like, it's nice. And I won't wear them again.
Do you have the outfits the regrettable choices? Do you still have those articles of clothing?
I don't. I think I got rid of the black Nehru jacket. It took a long time though. Yeah. But there's some regrettable outfits that I probably still have. Maybe do I? I have the leather pants.
Well, that sounds.
And every couple of years, I put them on.
And you're just like,
don't go out with them.
And you're just around the house.
Sure, I'll put them on and go like
Tom Cruise in Risky Business.
A little bit. No, really, what it is, it's to try to get back.
Yeah.
To the me that made the decision.
Sure.
to buy
Okay.
those pants.
Okay.
Who was that guy?
Yeah.
Who was the guy in the leather store in San Francisco
Mhm.
that put those on and said, I could do this?
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy
I'm
was.
wearing these out.
I'm wearing them on Conan.
Yeah. Don't bag them up.
Nope.
Walking out with these
Yeah,
on.
these leather jeans.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I got them still. I don't know why I don't just get rid of them. Someone might enjoy them.
Yeah, this could be, or we get some mannequins. Maybe you do your next, when people see you in a theater, you bring a few mannequins, you dress them when they walk through and they see the evolution of
That's
style.
right. The museum. I
Mark
could do a whole
Yeah.
show at a gallery.
That would be amazing.
Wouldn't
And-
it? Of all
and
the
if-
outfits I wore on Conan.
Yeah. And if at the end you're standing there like a mannequin and then you start
Doing my
the
thing.
show. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll call it leather pants.
Yeah. Now,
What?
well, okay. The From Bleak to Dark. When this comes out this week? This
Saturday.
week? Saturday.
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
It was too quick for me to book The View
Because you just did it in you did it in like December.
in
right?
November, I think.
November. I'll say this. I think it's the best special you've done. It is, and if this makes sense to you, like I know you in real life.
Yeah.
And it is the closest to you
Yeah.
as I've ever seen you do on stage.
Oh, good.
Where it is you. It's the closest as when we talk.
Yeah.
As it is. That's what that person is.
Oh, good.
Closer to what it's like to just talk to you, just
So-
eating
so
or whatever.
Maybe I've achieved my goal to be myself.
I think so. I think there's parts that are
Yeah.
maybe some of the not that they're not inauthentic, they're just less authentic than the core.
Different frequencies. It's intentional. I
Mhm.
knew it going in.
Yeah.
I'm glad I've achieved full me-ness.
Seriously.
But-
And I do feel that is who you are to me. I was like, oh, that's Mark.
Oh, good.
There. So yeah.
It happens, like, I know where it starts to happen because I knew
Mhm.
in the first 20
Yeah.
that I'm going to have to unload the heavy stuff,
Mhm.
the cultural commentary, the provocative stuff, because that is part of my comedic being. The last two specials,
Mhm.
I definitely pay homage to the people that influence me, and I'm aware where it happens.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's my responsibility to deal with those things, to deal with fascism, stupid people, hacks, anti-woke guys. That that needs to be. I need to. If I don't address that somehow or another, I feel like I haven't done my job as the type of stand-up I want to be.
Yeah.
But it's not inauthentic, but that's the heightened tone of me being, slightly, like we can cuss here, right?
Sure, yeah.
Fuck you-ish.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that was really a lot of who I was way back. But then, like, right when I come out of that
Mhm.
and do this stuff about getting older, then we're starting to. That's kind of me.
But that's right. That is the term. It's almost like there's a State of the Union at the
Second
top.
act. Yeah.
Like you're just saying, like,
Yeah.
I'm keeping you up to speed on where I'm at in 2022, 2023.
Right.
In terms of this is how I see the world right now. And now I'm going to tell you how I see myself.
Right.
And it's really impressive because it's hard. You go into it's harder stuff than you've ever had to talk about.
Oh yeah.
It is. I mean, just you're talking about Lynn through a huge part of it, which, I loved Lynn and was an amazing person. One of the best people you could ever meet.
Yeah.
And you go through talking about it, and it's the trickiest thing is to analyze personal tragedy in relation to the way you express yourself. And you truly break it down in a way that I've kind of never heard anybody break it down in terms of what do I do with this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was tricky.
Oh,
and
my
it
God.
was horrible. And, I don't know how, like, I think the entire process of once I started to be able to do comedy again
Mhm.
and knowing that I was probably going to have to process that stuff, I think I was in a state of shock and PTSD. I don't know how. I just kept, because when I started working on that stuff at like Dynasty Typewriter, it was raw and it was weird and there was crying and I didn't know, like, because what I've noticed is that, take like the hummingbird story. If I just told the hummingbird story without, the tags, like if I just told the hummingbird story, it'd be a sweet piece of theater. It would be a sad but beautiful thing.
Mhm.
So what I've got now is I've got that as that's the bed of it. And then you add the jokes, and then there's a balance in the middle.
Yes.
And somehow that's sort of what I was unconsciously looking for all the way through.
It's such a tightrope.
Totally. And I was sort of amazed that I did this line setting that stuff up, coming out of the aging stuff that I'd never done before. There's 3 lines in that special that happened there. And it was that one. And I kind of wrestle with wondering whether it was too cavalier or not. The one where like the worst day of my life, and I'm sure hers too.
Look, that was one of those ones where it's one of those ones where it's just like, wait, hold, what did he just like?
Yeah, it's right there
because you're rolling past it, and then you knew that they needed to catch up to that moment, so you actually you're just like, come.
Yeah, and I said it was right there. I said it was.
Oh, you had like, but see, that's the thing with it's like when you think of stuff like this, when you've been given the gift of having a brain that works the way a brain works for you and for me and for people who can take things from life and find the way to say it funny. It's like sometimes it feels like it's a gift from God. Other times it feels like it's like 3-card Monty, like a trick. It just it's like the guy who like bags groceries really fast on like That's Incredible. Like when I was a kid, watch a guy who just like this guy can bag groceries really fast. I'm just like, wow. Well, I guess anybody can get on television. So, but when you've got the brain that does that, it's like it doesn't shut off. There's not an off switch for it. It's like there will be days when I am just in moments and suddenly it's just like a menu rolls up of just like meanest thing I could say, second meanest thing I could say, nice thing I could say, like way too earnest thing I could say. And it's just like, I could go with nice thing, like, but it's like the meanest thought is also like, oh, I figured a funny way to say literally the thing that would make somebody cry. Like but it's just like you just don't do it.
For me it's anymore.
So you're just like
that's caused me too much trouble. I was never a great picker. You know,
when the menu rolls, it's just like one, like free.
Like lately I've been a little, like there's no reason for me to be that guy. To be the guy who's like, what the hell's that guy doing? You and I do it off the mic.
Oh my God, please, off the mic.
But now, like, now it's like I'm just I started smoking these damn cigars again because like I'm an idiot. I was off nicotine for 3 years. Then I'm in Canada. I'm like, oh, I think I can have a Cuban. Like, I don't know from AA and everything else. When you can't have just one. So I smoke it and like cut to like me on my porch. Me on my porch all day long. Just like, no, this is okay. I'm writing out here. So So now I'm hanging out at the store. At the Comedy Store, and I used to go in, do my shit, and then get out. But now, like, I'll have a cigar in the parking lot. And one of the door guys is like, "We like Cigar Mike." So Cigar Mark will tell you stories from the 80s.
Because now
Cigar Mark will tell you how he really thinks.
So the cigar is like this.
I'm just standing out there. I'm available. I'm out there, on Peanuts in the booth.
And so you're kind of just like, look, I still got a lot more of the cigar to go.
So what do you got? What do you want to know?
Let's tell some stories.
That guy. I've been talking to Tom Dreesen lately. That you should. Wow, dude, he's got some mob stories that are the best. I'm gonna have him back on the show.
Amazing. No, he is one of those guys where but
it's like he's telling me these mob stories and these Frank stories. Like he talks about Frank in a one-man show, but the mob stuff, you don't tell him. And I said, I'll have you back on the show if you tell me the mob stories. He goes, and I'm like, come on, they're all dead. And he goes, you're right. They're all dead. So that might happen.
Oh, I'm free.
Yeah.
They can't get me. Their kids aren't coming.
Yeah. Oh, but what you're saying about the menu is like, I'm always thrilled because that little joke, you're right. That seemed a little cavalier and snuck up on him was actually the great easy setup, because before that,
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing that thing. Like, I didn't know if I was going to be able to talk about it. You kind of like, there was this lengthy kind of struggle, but that thing, it's like, boom. All right. Now,
Now
you know where
let's
you are.
go there.
Yes.
Yeah. Because look, when you talked about the, that year, that period for you was, my heart has never hurt for somebody as much as my heart hurt for you during that period. That was, what do you do with this?
So horrible. And you would come over, and a lot of people wouldn't even come over.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just over there, it was like, I don't even know how to contextualize it. I don't know how obviously I was going to get through it, but it was COVID. And it was like, and it was so weird, it was so devastating.
It already felt like end times without.
It was
happening.
like orange skies, raining ash.
Yeah,
Trump is president.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and and then my partner just dies.
Yeah,
and my brother comes out, and there's just this flurry of activity of dealing with her. It was like brutal. But you you were there for me, buddy, and I love you for it.
Of course. Well, it's just I love you and I love her, and it was just But I remember there were times it's always funny when watching the special, you're just like, it's like, people come over. It's like, ooh, like, ooh, I was one of those people. But it's like, but I remember it was just so funny. And this is like an unnamed person. I remember you were just like, this comedian came over and he starts talking to me about his girlfriend. And you're just like, Mark, I don't know. He's like, hey, can I come over? And you're like, sure. Come over. This is like a month after everything happened. And he's like, my girlfriend, we're fighting all the time. And you're just sitting there and you're like, you realize what I'm going through right now. It's like, oh, you guys are fighting.
Yeah, you got problems?
Yeah. Oh, you're not you're starting to go at it a little bit. But then you were just kind of like, no, I'm kind of into it though. Hell, even that you were just like any other circumstance, you'd be just like, what is this guy doing to me? But you're just kind of like, no, it was fine.
It got me out of my head.
Yeah, it just burned. But it was
surprising.
An hour.
It was surprising.
Yeah,
because I thought he's going to come over and you all right? What are you doing? He's like, hey, it's good to see you. Like, I'm going crazy with this girl.
And you were just like, yeah, me too. I kind of got my own girl problem right now too, buddy.
Bit of a girl problem. He's all right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was very surprised at the people that, because it was public, but people called, Leno called me, which was astounding. I didn't even know how he got the number. Hey, Mike, how you doing? However he talks, he's like, I heard what you going through is terrible. It's a terrible thing. I just wanted to know that I'm sorry. But it was nice.
No, and that's it. Kind of is one of those things that you don't realize who you want in the foxhole with you, and you're kind of like, oh, hey, you were better than I thought. You'd be like, you disappointed me horrifically.
I can't think of anybody that did though. Like, literally everybody in my community reached out. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, there are the people that I have problems with that I wouldn't expect to reach out. But for the most part, a lot of people, definitely reached out.
Absolutely. And I mean, look, you've been the point of WTF. At least, definitely in its early days, it was kind of just like there was a reason why you would end every episode saying, "Are we good?"
Yeah,
because you a lot of times went into a thing where you were not necessarily good with that person.
Well, yeah, a lot of times though they had no idea that I was carrying. Like, it's just that thing where you make it happens so easily with me. Like we can't hook up for like a month or two.
We're scrambling here.
Just right. And then at some point I'm like, what'd I do? And then
I just we've been missing each other for a few months. Not like you're here, I'm not here. That's why I was just like I'll get a text from Mark and be just like, so are we friends or what? Be like, yeah, we're still friends. Just
that's the text I shouldn't send, and I've hit the wall. I'm like, because there's another guy that I've known for years, and literally, he just cut me out of his life.
I've got a few of those.
But then you send emissaries. I'm going to send some people out.
Yeah,
do a little recon. And this guy is telling these guys, nah, I don't want to put you in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm texting him saying, look, we don't have to be friends. We're old guys.
Yeah.
I can take it. What I do, it's just so I know.
Yeah.
And if an apology is necessary or warranted, I'd be, I can own my side of it.
And it could just be arm's length. That's all we got to be.
But he's not giving me nothing.
Yeah.
How many times you got to send that text, dude? Seriously, though.
Yeah. Well, there's
before you're like
at some point that's
you're the banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah,
at some point, and I'm Colin Farrell.
You're allowed to say, I tried.
Yeah.
No, it's really.
I'm not there with you. That's
what's
not.
that? No,
you have guys like that though.
Oh, yeah.
No,
there's a few where you try, nothing. You try, and then maybe you get like, and then he gets pulled away, and it's just like, I just can't keep chasing it.
But isn't it weird when something becomes irreparable because of something you didn't even do on purpose?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, I had another guy that was friends with me, like, and somehow or another he decided I didn't show up for him.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And I'm like, I don't know what happened, but it was irreparable.
Yeah. Well, all you can do is say, I'll try to do better.
I don't know, dude. Like lately, my brain's been crazy, like about, just thinking about, like, was I an asshole my whole life? I'm getting these montages of like, I remember when I used to go up to Somerville, like I was working in New York, but I'd moved out of Boston and I had a place down there. I had to go to New England to work and I would stay at my girlfriend's house, Kim, and she lived with several roommates in Somerville, and I would go up there and I'd spend the weekends there and go do comedy and stay at the place. And I just like the flash that comes to me at some point is everybody but her who lived in that apartment sitting me down saying like, you can't stay here anymore at all. And I'm like, I'll pay rent. They're like, no, we just don't want you here. And I have no idea what I did, but maybe I have no sense of who I was. It was. And there's a few of those things where I'm like, do I like? Look, I've always paid lip service to. I know I was kind of an asshole at some point and kind of a dick, but I always had friends. But there's certain moments where I'm like, wow, what did I do? I have no idea.
Look, I as a friend, I think you're doing all right.
No, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
that's the big question. It's like, why am I doing that montage? I got an HBO special coming out. And I'm like, how can I feel shitty?
Yeah.
That'd be good.
No, I'm just kind of like, there's got to be something in here.
Yeah.
That's
gonna
take all the good stuff
that
away.
I've missed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. As soon as I feel good, I was talking to my friend Mike today. It's like there's that moment where you're like, I feel great. Oh fuck.
There it is.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Something's gonna.
Yeah. And then you watch the fly away. The good thing just starts to fade.
Yeah, I'm already beyond the HBO special. But you have to temper your expectations. Where'd you get these? I like these headphones. I have to get these.
Oh, I don't know.
I love being a radio guy because I come to your place. And I'm like, what are these booms?
They're nice arms, right?
Yeah.
This is yeah. They do a good job here.
But but the special, like, it's going to be what it's going to be. I'm pretty happy about it. It looks great. I did the music for it. That's me.
Oh, that is you. Okay,
yeah, with some fellas. Me and my band.
Yeah, now that's a whole other thing. You talk about letting go to where you're just like, I just want to try these things.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get hung up on parts of it. You've been playing out.
Yeah.
Like legit, like you're playing real songs and you're really singing. And it's like, what does that feel like?
It's amazing. Yeah. But it was all, it took a long time for me to do that.
To get,
well, I never played with other people that much, and to sing in public again since the thing happened. The thing at the music camp. Yeah,
the thing at the music
it took a long time.
Yeah,
didn't we talk about that before? I don't know. I did. I went to a music camp in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. How old are you at this point?
Like 15, probably 14 or 15. Playing guitar, and they let you smoke there. It's that kind of music camp.
Sure.
All the local musicians from Philly, you know the Netsky brothers. Do you know Hankus Netsky, the klezmer saxophonist? No. He's got two brothers. There's Hankus Netsky, and One of the Netskis was a ceramicist, and the other one was the guitar teacher.
Okay.
But Hankus is actually in a fairly important klezmer band.
Okay.
But that's neither here.
So these are like the Vivinos of klezmer.
Philly. Well, yeah, he's from Philly.
Okay.
You know, they're whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone's playing instruments. They're doing ceramics. They're doing drama, whatever. I was one of the musicians.
Yeah.
So like the final, you know, you're supposed to put together a thing for the final thing, the show.
Yeah.
You know, put together some numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked my guys.
Yeah.
Robert Rudnitsky on drums. This guy Matt on bass, and some other kid, I forget his name, on piano. Like, you know, I'm like, I was never any different. I just like, let's just play Johnny Be Good and get through it at the band shell.
Yeah.
Right. And there was this other crew of nerdier musicians, you know, that I didn't like, you know, like I think his name was Pete Aronson and another Jewish guy. And, you know, but I come from whatever I come from. They come from, you know, something smarter and better.
Okay.
I don't know. So my guys, you know, decide on the night that we rehearsed Johnny Be Good a couple times. How hard can it be?
Yeah.
Johnny Be Good.
Yeah.
So the night comes, you know, and we do it. We get up there and they're all wasted. Robert falls off the drums. Matt's giggling, can't really play bass. I'm trying to play Johnny Be Good. I come in on the wrong key singing and I can't get back out.
Okay. You just missed it. Like, yeah.
In the band shell, band shell.
Uh-huh.
And I was devastated, embarrassed. It was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
And then the other guys,
yeah.
In my recollection, they went on stage and played an entire Genesis record.
They might have been Genesis.
Yeah,
for
it
all
could
you,
have been.
the way it felt for you.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it was just leveling. So over the last couple of years, I've begun to crawl back up on stage again, and try to sing. Yeah. But it's all, you know, it's been tough. But I'm doing okay. We're playing. I got a combo. Jimmy Vivino plays with me sometimes. Now we got this other guitar player. He's stepping in. Sometimes the guys that Ned Brower and Brandon Schwartzel were in a band called Rooney. Do you know Rooney?
Know the name.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know it, it's out there.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but it's. I wanted you to be like, of course.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen for us. So
we'll get it next time. I could have done the thing where it's just like, yeah.
Wait, Rooney?
I haven't heard in a million years.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think they're from here, right?
Yeah. Just that blur when you start to just try to like.
Yeah.
That is the worst part. Like sometimes I find myself where you're just like, just say you don't know it. It's okay.
I have to do that.
Hey, you ever see that movie No Way Out with Kevin Costner? It's like, oh yeah, like a million years ago.
Yeah,
like I didn't see it.
Or how about this one? I think so. Was that the one? Was it?
Huh,
oh yeah.
And I just know the poster, and I'm just like what am I?
Why are we
protecting at that point? Also the pain of you telling that story. If you would have said, "This happened to me 3 weeks ago," I would have been just like, "Yeah, you're feeling it."
Yeah,
it's just like this happened to me when I was 15. Like this is today pain. You telling that?
Yeah, but I made it a policy to say I don't know. It's important.
Yeah.
I just do it. I don't know.
It's liberating.
Yeah.
Are you trying to win points at this point?
I don't know. But you know when you own books and someone says, you read that book and you own the book and you looked at it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think I don't know.
With that stuff, I just feel like, isn't it enough I knew the right book to buy?
Sure.
Like, doesn't that get me halfway there?
Yeah.
I can go into a bookstore and be like, well, that guy's got great taste. It's like, is he smart enough to have read anything? Absolutely not. He's still reading. He's still reading the oral history of Dazed and Confused, not reading actual literature.
I found I pulled the book off the shelf today because I was packing stuff and someone reminded me of this. I think his name's George Bataille. You know, it was dark. I don't know if it's philosophy. He wrote some French weird kind of sex and death stuff or whatever. And I had two of those books. I've had them for 30 years. And I pulled one of them off the shelf and I opened it up and there was one paragraph underlined with a star next to it. No idea what it means. I read it today and I'm like, don't understand it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a smart guy, can't put it together.
Yeah.
Philosophy, you're not going to you don't get older and magically understand it. It's like math. It's not going to happen for
Either
you.
you have the brain for that just channel of thinking, or
the language.
or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't.
Yeah, but the band thing is great. I like doing it. I'm doing interesting covers. I think you'd enjoy it.
Mhm.
You haven't come to see it, have you?
Not yet, no. Like what are some covers that are working for you?
Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory.
Amazing.
We do Going, Going, Gone.
Like going but the Dylan
one
band,
from,
yeah,
from Planet Waves.
Planet Waves, yeah.
Yeah, we do. We've done. I tried to do Jealous Guy.
Okay.
And I had to start it over. See, that's the relationship I have with my audience, because they know, like, I'm not trying to make records. I'm trying to do this.
Yeah,
I'm trying to sing right.
Like, it's happening
in real time.
The whole thing's happening
Yeah.
in front of them.
Yeah. So, like, when I was in Jealous Guy,
Mhm.
I just couldn't get the register, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
We're going to get it. I tried. We decided to play ISIS.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's a long song, and
That's a very long song. Yeah.
and I kind of lost confidence
Mhm.
midway through. And I
Sure.
still had a lot to go. That wasn't
You're
a great,
just like,
not a great
we
experience.
have not told the story of ISIS yet.
Yeah, and we did. I tried to do Heaven by
Okay.
the David Byrne.
Mhm.
We've done some blues stuff, some Muddy Waters, and
Okay.
some Jimmy, what's his name? Reed.
Jimmy Reed. Yeah.
Sure. We did. What else do we do? We've done a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Velvet Underground, a lot of Velvet Underground.
Like, what are you doing?
We did What Goes On, of course.
Yeah.
I think we tried the Sweet Nothing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
The best song.
Oh my God. No, look, I go back. The beauty of Velvet Underground for me is that it's 4 perfect albums. Each one is completely different than the other.
Yeah.
And you can pick which one your favorite. Like, your favorite can change.
Yeah.
And it grows with you, the catalog. It's like you change, the catalog stays the same.
To me, that is the indicator of genius.
Yeah. That it is.
That it moves with, it grows with you.
Yeah. And you could just be like, I think Loaded is my favorite one now. And then there'll be like a year where you just be like, yeah, Loaded's not the one I'm going to grab.
Yeah.
And it's just, and you're right all the time with it.
Yeah. I love all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think we tried, I Found a Reason.
Wow. Okay.
I think we tried that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's velvet heavy, and we do No Fun.
Mm-hmm.
We did some Stooges.
Sure. What's it like to feel like you're inside these songs you've listened to your whole life? Now you're not listening.
It's interesting.
You kind of are them right now.
Well, I'm not a guy that's going to try to play it like the record.
Yeah.
Or I'd be a better guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been that guy.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to do my version of it.
Yeah.
And there's some songs that, are so expansive. Like, I think that Going, Going, Gone is an expansive song. Like, if you own that song, you own it. You can do a version that people are going to be like, I like your version.
Yeah.
And Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory is kind of the same. The only problem with that one is I believe that Johnny Depp does it. So, which it doesn't take away from the song.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is a specific thing, but it's kind of a beautiful bit of poetry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's because is it a matter of confidence, or is it a matter of letting go to feel like you can get there?
Well, it's like I think I've landed on a tone that I can use.
Sure.
I can play fairly confidently in the limited spectrum that I have. Like, I can do that.
Yeah.
But it took me a long time not to compare myself to 9-year-olds on YouTube, or just noodlers in general, or whatever the idea of what good guitar playing was. Because when you listen, like, what you're saying about the Velvet Underground is oddly happening to me with the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
I don't know why. Like I'm listening to old Rolling Stones records and I'm getting more out of them than I ever had. I can't explain it to you, but there's something that's happening between me and Keith Richards that is new.
Okay.
But I guess the point is that because I found a tone I'm comfortable with and a space in playing that I'm comfortable with, and I've gotten the hang of playing with these guys, I can sort of own the thing and feel it as my own thing.
Yeah.
Like Sweet Nothing.
Yeah.
Just the build of that. That's the 3-chord stuff, that kind of like psychedelic kind of like, I don't know who John Love is, but like it means something to me.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like in this is going to sound like, I don't know what it's going to sound like. Somehow Lou Reed is still a question mark ultimately in a lot of ways. Like it feels like the story, you realize that we didn't know the guy.
I don't know what's going on.
You know what I mean? It just feels like he is.
And the bits and pieces you do get are like, what?
Yeah.
Like that period during Berlin or Coney Island, like when he had the bleach blonde hair.
Yeah.
Living in that apartment.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I talked to Jackson Brown. He took Jackson Brown to see Murray the K Show in New York.
Wow. Like in like 66.
Yeah, when
like
Jackson was hanging around and gave
Nico
that song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lou Reed took him to a Murray the K Show.
Yeah.
That's Jackson Brown, Lou Reed sitting there watching. Who the hell even knows who was on that show?
I just feel like this guy somehow is strangely underrated in the culture for what he built. I don't think we realize what it was. Look, I've talked about it before. When he did that final album with Metallica, I was just like, yikes, this is rough stuff.
I think I've only listened to it once.
But that's the thing. It's like I put it down. It was low-hanging fruit. He's with these dimwits from Metallica, easiest thing in the world to goof on. So I did it.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the album through the filter of that, through just like, I'm here to throw rocks.
Your
at this
judgment.
thing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Then I remember reading a thing David Bowie said, like, he told Lou at the end, because he said, this is maybe the best thing you've ever done, and people will understand it later. And I just remember seeing that being like, sure, that's what you say to your friends. Just like, great job.
Really? You weren't able, in that moment, you couldn't even let down your...
Well, because I was listening to it, I'm just like saying, this sounds dumb, because it's Metallica. It's not my scene with Metallica. But then like years later, I just went back to it and I was like, this is like one of the heaviest, most profound. He's telling you he's dying on this album. It's 2 discs of Lou Reed saying goodbye. It's about blood and suffering and death. His blood and suffering and death. He knew he was sick. He was saying goodbye. And it's when you realize that and you listen to this record, it will be like somebody dropped a safe on your head you'll be like, oh my God, David Bowie was really right on this thing.
Really?
This is a late period
masterpiece.
Almost. There might be a little too much of it because it is 2 discs.
Right.
When that thing is working, it is intense.
Oh
it is intense. There's the final song on it is the song Junior Dad that will just lay you out when you listen to it now. With him
my
gone,
God.
And it's just like, those are the things where I'm just like, look, if I'm obsessed with this guy and I'm still figuring parts of it out, then what about like people who just know Walk on the Wild Side? It's like, this guy's like just a question mark. He's the weird guy who did the scooter ads or whatever. Like,
I did. I've got 3 copies of the Blue Mask because I just buy them anytime I see him because I don't want to not have them. It's the weirdest thing.
Waves of Fear.
Oh my God.
Is like, I've never heard a song that makes me feel queasy the way that song is. I feel nauseous.
Yeah.
Listen, you can like the pain.
Yeah.
Is direct.
Yeah.
On that song.
Well, wow. So like, it's weird. Part of me was thinking when you're talking about these are songs about him dying. I thought like, God, when am I going to have to write that material? How am I going to make that funny?
Yeah. That's the
Not soon, I hope.
No, you've got a while. You've
I
got
hope
a
so.
long while.
Yeah.
Like you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Those are the moments. Like I saw probably like 4 or so years ago. It was in East Coast, and it's like, oh, I realized Chris Christopherson's playing in like white.
How many songs does that guy really have that are great?
He's got a lot. He's high. Like I think he is a true American hero.
Like Leonard Cohen?
He is. Yes, I would put him right there with him.
Right.
He gets off target at a point after a few albums.
Yeah.
But those first
Yeah.
bunch of albums,
Yeah.
you look at those songs he was writing. Help Me Make It Through the Night.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Sunday Morning.
Coming down. Yeah.
It's like, and you think about the times he was. He was a Air Force. He was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
He was a Rhodes Scholar. He went to Nashville just to be a songwriter. He's like, my voice is terrible. I'm just going to write songs for other people. And this is a guy who is like one of the coolest looking people you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he's still just like, I'm just going to write songs for. He's sweeping the floors of the studio when Dylan is recording Blonde on Blonde. He's just working in the studio.
That guy.
And
guy with the broom.
He's the guy he's Chris. Hey, Chris, empty the garbage can.
Yeah.
Like that's Chris Christopherson.
Ashtrays are full. Chris.
Yeah. Where's Chris?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Man, what's that guy's name?
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris. Like,
so you saw him?
Yeah. We can get some sandwiches. So I get a ticket. I'm like biased. I'm like, oh, he's playing, and I get a ticket. Single seat. That's always the magic. Sometimes I get put front row center. He's as close as that screen is to me. And now I'm terrified that he's standing in front of me.
Yeah.
And the story with him is he was fading. He's never going to perform again.
He thought he had
got
dementia.
He thought he had dementia. He was misdiagnosed.
Right.
He had Lyme disease.
Yes.
They had him on the wrong meds for years. He gets on the right meds. His brain comes back. He goes back out and plays. It's the most beautiful thing imaginable. He's back. He came back from the dead. So that guy is in front of me, knowing that it's just like, we've only got this much time with him now. And we were lucky to have this much time because he was, for all intents and purposes, gone.
Yeah.
And he played those songs, just a guitar and him. And I'm just bawling my eyes out because the final song is he saying, basically, you're probably never going to see me again. Goodbye.
Oh,
It's like, what do I do with it? It's like, it's one of the most artistically profound things I've ever experienced. A guy telling you goodbye because I don't have much time left.
It's kind of amazing because as we get older, and I'm older than you, it becomes impossible not to think about this stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
And people are dropping. And, I have friends who are a decade older than me who are looking right at it. And you start to because I've made fun of Bob Dylan, in terms of why is he out there all the time? Why does he want to die on a bus? And what else is he going to do?
No.
And that, I think he's been making his last record for the last 10 records.
Absolutely. And then when you find out, if he didn't do what he's doing now, he probably would have died 10 years ago because...
he does metal sculpture.
Yeah. These huge.
Yeah. I went to the Bob Dylan Center for the opening weekend. Giant metal
Tulsa.
sculpture. Yeah, Tulsa, because I was shooting Reservation Dogs. Where do you stand on Tim Hardin?
Oh, I love the first 3 records. Love them.
It's so weird, dude. I became obsessed with him, but I didn't understand why.
Yeah.
Because just that one song, the 2 songs, the big ones.
Yeah.
If I Were a Carpenter and Reason to Believe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's enough.
Lady Came from Baltimore.
Yeah.
This song. It's 2 minutes long. And then it just feels like he just got hit in the head with a brick. And it's 2 minutes and he's gone. He just devastated you emotionally in 2 minutes.
I've kind of gone back to it now, and I've got so many records because sometimes that happens for me. It's sort of like I know there's something, and I amass the records, but I don't sit with them.
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden something happens.
Yeah.
And it was seeing that Karen Dalton documentary
Mhm.
and knowing that he probably killed her that I wanted to,
Mhm.
just out of curiosity.
Mhm.
It's just so weird to see like those people who are up in those folk singing people up in those hills. They're all shooting dope together.
Yeah.
And you get these old guys who are talking about like, well, she was in the corner. She like, what kind of party do you walk into and everyone's just like tying off and that's okay? At some point, it just shameless tying off and guitar playing.
Yeah.
But they were connected. And then you start to see like, you hear the way they both sing. They have certain a similarity in how they approach lyric. And I was curious about, so that kind of brought me back into him.
Oh yeah, no, those are heavy duty records.
Heavy.
Yeah.
And he's a heavy duty dude. Did you see that Woodstock footage? He could barely keep his head up.
Yeah, that's a disaster at that point.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, your special's called From Bleak to Dark.
Yeah,
and when you name
we're talking about
a special,
Tim Harden nodding off at Woodstock. It's a good
It's okay,
transition.
that's good.
Speaking of that,
I'm going to give you some.
What?
You tell me.
Yeah.
So one of the trickiest things must be naming your special.
Yeah.
Like, because you need it to represent what it is.
This had another title.
What was the other title?
The Big Work.
Okay. I like From Bleak to Dark.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
Fine Arts fought for it because I thought it would be good, but I thought I would have to tell the story for it to make sense.
Mhm.
And he was sort of like, I don't think it needs a story.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
like,
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to name some you tell me which ones are real specials that comedians
Okay.
have named their specials and which ones are not real.
Yeah.
Laugh till it squirts.
Not real.
Not real. Ha ha time.
Real.
Not real.
Damn.
Sounds like someone ordered jokes.
That's the title?
Yeah.
That's not real.
That's not real. Half laugh.
No.
It's trigger time.
It's trigger time?
Yeah.
That could happen, but I don't think it's happened.
Okay. Not real. Boys being boys.
No.
Not real. Amazing disgrace.
No.
Not real.
No.
My 2 cents.
That sounds real.
Not real.
All right.
Abort this.
No.
Not real. Tell me I'm good.
That's the subtext of every title.
Is it real or not real?
Not real.
That's not real. Hard laugh.
No.
Not real. None of these were real.
I know. Yeah.
So I just
I
wanted
was
to say-
beginning to see that.
Sure. Well, I think we gave it. I should have said, and I didn't even get to Comedian Destroys Audience. Because there's some of these special titles. This is like,
You like
look,
that guy, Ronnie Chang?
I do.
I do
I
too.
think he's really funny.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's like he's in, it's a rare groove, man.
Mhm. He's in that movie Megan,
Yeah.
the
I didn't
doll
see it.
movie.
Yeah. You saw it?
It's so much fun. The movie's so much fun. It's a comedy with horror trappings,
Yeah.
basically. And it must have been the most fun thing to just be an actor and to do that.
Yeah.
To just chew scenery. He's just going for it.
I got to watch it.
He's having a blast. He must have had a blast.
I'm so
doing it.
weird about like watching things. I've watched all of the Kelly Reichardt movies in a week.
Oh my, yeah. She's my favorite.
Oh my God.
I love her. So, yeah, I've known her for, oh my God, 25 years.
I don't even have her booked or anything, but
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
No, I can't wait for the new one.
Yeah, I just saw, that's what got me going. I saw the trailer of it and I'm like, oh my God, she nailed something so specific.
Yeah.
So precisely.
Yes.
And I saw it in the trailer
Mhm.
and I'm like, who is this? And I'm like,
It's-
oh shit, I've seen 2 of these movies,
Yeah.
but I never paid attention to her in a focused way.
Yeah.
So I watched them all.
Yeah.
I'd watched First Cow twice.
Amazing.
So that's like, and then I saw Wendy and Lucy when it came out, but then I just watched it again.
Uh-huh.
I'd never seen Old Joy. And even though Will Oldham annoys me,
Uh-huh.
it was fine for the movie.
Yeah. How about blanking? Is it Certain Women?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Devastating.
Or how about the one about the terrorists?
Night Moves.
What is that?
No, Kelly Reichert is a genius.
How about the ending of Meek's
Meek's Cutoff?
Cutoff. The ending? That's the ending?
Yeah.
The Native American just walks off?
Yeah. He's done. Bye. Yeah.
She is so good, dude.
She is at the highest level, and her movies talk about artistic confidence to embrace the silence.
Embrace silence and just shoot the way she shoots the outdoors.
Yeah.
And how about, did you notice that there are 2 actors from McCabe and Mrs. Miller in First Cow?
It's Renee.
Yes.
But
there's one other one on All You See him once waiting online for a donut.
Really?
The guy, you remember the drunk from McCabe and Mrs. Miller?
Sure. Yeah.
That guy is online. Amazing. He cuts off the guy that kills them to get a donut.
Amazing.
That's her McCabe and Mrs. Miller. You know, it's the same story.
Without it. No, look, I talk to her every once in a while.
On the show?
Not here, just email back and forth every once in a while. She is just, she talk about somebody waiting to get their true, just artistic due.
Totally.
That's her. She is.
And it's just like, it's total confidence, but also like she's doing exactly the movie the way she wants to do them.
100%. And if she's not going to, she doesn't make the movie.
And none of them, like there's several where the ending is just poetry, man.
Yeah.
With the ending of Old Joy with Will Oldham just wandering around.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
She is somebody who everybody will finally get, and people go, where were you this whole time? It's like, well, guess what? She's been there the whole time.
I guess so, but like it's still going to be, those of us who get it. You know what I mean? I think she'll get respect, but it's sort of like Maria Bamford, the greatest comic working.
Yeah.
But most of the population can still say like, I don't get it. It's weird.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Fuck those people.
Yeah. You can't worry about it.
But she does need to be celebrated.
Absolutely. Look, I'm not saying she's looking to be like,
no, I know. I just want to talk to her,
but she just deserves to be, she should just be able to make the things she wants to make. Because
all the time,
if she sees it, she should get a chance to make
some of our tax money should go towards
seriously.
Kelly Reichert.
It goes to that thing. Oh my God!
Is today your birthday?
In a couple days.
Oh, it is. Happy birthday to you!
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday, dear.
Oh my God.
Tom Scharpling.
Right during my Kelly Reichert.
Yes. Happy birthday to
look at this.
None of her movies would end like this.
No, they would not end with a happy birthday. It would end. Okay, here we go.
It would end with just the cake.
Hold on. Are these novelty candles?
No.
Okay, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
How old are you?
77.
Wow.
The big 7-7.
What do you like?
Here's my dog. This is Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
You're not a big dog person.
I like dogs. Why does everyone say that?
Because you identify so much with cats.
I grew up with Old English sheepdogs my whole life. My entire childhood is covered in hair.
Would you ever go back to dogs?
Yeah, if I didn't have to go out of town so much.
Sure.
You
take them on the road with you.
You don't say how old you are?
No.
All right.
54.
Fine. Okay.
You take the dog with you.
On the road, on the plane?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can barely get it together to travel myself in the morning.
Isn't it exciting though when you see a dog on a plane? When somebody like brings it's kind of like there's at least something different to look at.
I don't know.
Other than a baby.
Every time I used to bring my cats on the plane, they'd shit in the box. It'd be like this terrible, like these horrible cats. I'd be in the bathroom just like, why'd you do this? It's terrible.
Well, Mark.
Yes. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah. And seriously, the special, and I mean it, it's the closest I've seen you get to you.
Thank you.
In any of these things, it is you're on a path, and it's exciting watching you go down that path.
I appreciate it. Thank you for all of your friendship and support over the years.
Well, right back at you.
You got it.
Well, everybody, we are at the end of another Best Show. Again, February 21st. The challenge is on. If you know a famous person, you bring them to the studio during the show. We're open thing.
Really?
You bring them down, and then you get to pick a prize. We're gonna have a shelf of prizes that the people who have 3 things. It's gonna be. This will be like.
Is it relative to how famous the person?
Yeah. No, this shelf will be. It'll be like on the boardwalk when you like. It'll be like,
how do I win the big thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Win 6 more times, or bring Jake Gyllenhaal in the studio, or whatever.
Yeah.
Just this bottom shelf would be like Tom Sizemore. You brought Tom Sizemore. You might have given us more of a problem than a solution.
You can have a Leonard Skinner mirror.
Exactly. Yeah. You get and those mirrors also.
Those are pretty big.
How long did it take me to realize it's just like, oh, these were for people to do cocaine on.
Yeah.
And nobody was like grooming themselves with looking through the Van Halen logo.
Hanging it up.
It's just like, in my mind, it's like, well, you get one of those mirrors. It's a little tricky to look in because there's this screen printed Van Halen logo on it. And then like at some point I'm just like,
it's for drugs.
It's for drugs. Of course the mirror makes sense now. Bottom level is like, I was an extra in whatever.
Yeah.
Middle level would be like, I'm the guy from the sitcom.
Yeah.
From Growing Pains. Or
right.
whatever.
Sure.
Top shelf is
stars.
Oh yeah, you're a star.
Yeah.
So we'll explain it more next week. But February, if you know your famous people, start talking to them and tell them to clear February 21st because you're bringing them to the Best Show studio. So thanks everybody. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you, Mark, for coming down. Thank you to Peyton Reed for coming down. And we will be back next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye. The Best Show is produced in partnership with the Forever Dog Podcast Network. The show is hosted by Tom Scharpling and features John Worster, Michael Lisk, Jason Gore, and Pat Byrne. The show is produced and written by Jason Gore, Pat Byrne, Michael Lisk, Brett Davis, John Worster, and Tom Scharpling. The Best Show is executive produced by Tom Scharpling, Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. Co-executive produced by Jason Gore and Pat Byrne. Segment producer Michael Lisk. The show is engineered and mastered by Andrew Gleason and Wesley Knapp. Graphic design, video editing, and social media by Brett Davis. Website and technical support by Martine Sellis. And the show is recorded at Forever Dog Studios in Los Angeles. Support The Best Show on Patreon over at patreon.com/thebestshow. And follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Best Show 4 Life. That's Best Show 4 Life. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.